Most definitely. Sister D, long time no hear from.
Yeah, she back with us. Glad to have you, Sister D. Darian. Am I saying it right?
It's Darian, but
Darian?
okay.
I'm so sorry, girl.
It's okay. Thank y'all.
So
Yeah, we can
yes. So glad to have you with us. So glad. It's a blessing. As I told you before, in the other when we were texting in the IG, this is a show. I told you to bring your notebook, so I hope you got your notebook and everything.
I do. I do. I take a lot of notes.
Oh yes. That's what we love to hear. That's what we love to hear. So yeah, as I told you before, don't feel shy or anything. Always feel free to speak up on the show at any time. You want to put in your greater 2 cents. Always welcome to do so. We are welcome and blessed to have you. Another sister. So that kind of evens us out almost. The boys got us as far as the women go, the empresses. But with you, with you,
I was going to say some, but I was there. Hey,
with you yourself, Darian.
Yes.
Darian. Okay, you, Miss Faye.
You still ain't correct yourself yet.
And myself. What? What'd you say? I am. I'm trying to.
I don't see no boys around here.
Oh, my bad. No boys. Excuse me. Men. Men. Our Moors, our men. Our soldiers out here. Our Moorish men.
You on thin ice, sister. You on thin ice tonight.
I'm so sorry.
You on thin ice.
Sorry. I've been. Don't write me up. I can't afford another citation. Sanction. I mean.
Take it up with the magistrate.
I can't do it. Don't write me up.
Stenographer.
That would make
everything she says should be recorded and emphasized.
Yes. Oh, so yes, 4 of us to the men. Another brother, our OG, our Grand Sheik, as we consider him, brother Daoud Page Bay. You already know probably. So yeah, like I was saying, Darian, bring your notebook, your notes, and just feel welcome and at home here. This is a home. We created this not too long ago in May, and we've been growing ever since. Every participant, every audience member, guest we've ever had, we appreciate them and love them. And as we would tell any other person, not just yourself, this platform, the Drop Squad Live Zone, is for us Moors. Whether you are declared or undeclared, whether you know who you truly are, know thyself, or you don't know thyself, this is a nucleus of family. We are very much a good group of great-hearted and kind-hearted people with kind and gracious, humble souls, and we just all decided to come together,
and then there's me.
And then there was Jay. You often hear me say about the story sometime about how I met Miss Faye and then linked back up with Brother O, who is our patriarch, if you will, I guess we say. What we say? Patriarch of this whole thing.
Yep.
And then our other co-founder, Brother Yachida L. and then myself. We all happen to just be on the same wavelength at the same time. One lovely spring night in May, we came together, and the rest has been history. Like I said, this is for Moors, whether you undeclared or declared. This is the place that we decided to give, not just for us and ourselves, but we knew that it had to be a spot, a lane, if you will, for us, because it's no secret that on social media you can see it in almost every comment section on Instagram or Twitter or whatever have you that you frequent in the social media spectrum realm. Our people, you can see other people commenting and expressing their feelings that this this title of blackness that's been pinned, been that the oppressors have been trying to pin on us for decades now, over 4 or 5 decades. Now they've been trying to pin all these labels upon us, and in 2020, thank God, eyes are seeing clearly now. Veils are being lifted, and the fun and the game playing that the age of Pisces uh always entailed is no longer the status quo anymore in the world and society. We are entering in the age of Aquarius, and I couldn't be more proud and honored that Allah has blessed me with the life that I have and given me so many tasks and you know situations, trial and errors, and helped me to sharpen my sword, our swords, which is the mind. That is our greatest weapon in this world, the mind. So I'm grateful for every big obstacle to the tiniest of obstacles that I've gone through, because had I not, I wouldn't be able to have met these other dear, not friends, but family. I consider everyone here to be my family, my brothers, my sisters. And that includes you, Darian. So welcome, and
Thank you.
just know that yeah, this is a place for us. We no longer are answering to this term of blackness. We no longer dancing to this James Brown, you know, shindig, foxtrotting, or whatever they used to do back in the day. We no longer dancing to that music of I'm black and proud. Say it loud, I'm black. We're not doing that anymore. Black is a term, as I told you before, that means dead. It is what it is. And from what you know now, seeing us, you see we're not dead. You check your pulse, your wrist or whatever, pulse, you alive. You feel that. You feel it moving. So if to be black means to be dead, then that's definitely not a word for us to subscribe to. Um, so yeah, it's all about with us coming back home and being grateful that Allah has blessed us with our many individual trials and tribulations. And now, you know, it's evident that Allah has rewarded us because we made it through to all of our other tests and, trial and error runs that we individually had in our lives. And now we are blessed with our gifts, and that gift, one of them is crossing the paths and finally meeting and locking heads with fellow brothers and sisters. We passed our test with Allah, and I think of the Drop Squad Live show, the collective, the team, as Allah's blessing to all of us who serve Him. And yeah, it just is what it is, and it's a blessing. So with that in mind, from here on out, Darian, just know that you got a Moorish family, that you got Moors in your corner now that you
Aw.
can study from, learn from, and just indulge in knowledge and grow with. Hopefully we can help you grow with whatever it is that we know in our lives, in our hearts and minds, and vice versa. We hope we can learn from you as well as a young sister and fellow empress. So as the one of the empresses of the group, along with Miss Faye and our other sister Dawn on her behalf too, we welcome you, sister. Welcome to the Drop Squad, and we hope to continue to have you for however long you want to be around with us. So just know that this is a safe space, and for more listening in, you don't have to be Black anymore. You're not Black to begin with. You know, this is something for those of us who are all about learning the more science, unlearning the lies of the history taught to us in school and just society. And now it's about relearning from our past, our real actual past, and our position in the past. Because in order to go in the future, you can't do it unless you know what you need to know about the past. Any other way, it just won't work. That's just how life is. So yeah, that's it. Anybody else, feel free. I yield to y'all. And yeah, welcome, Darian. Welcome,
Well,
welcome.
Darian, I don't think there's much I can say after all of that outside of from the brothers on the show. Um, we want to wish you, a welcome back. Obviously, this isn't your first rodeo. We're here with us, and we hope that you come, more frequently. Even if you don't have anything to say or add on the conversation, just your mere presence here is welcomed and enough. With that being said, from myself, from the narrator, Brother Oliver, from Dawood, who's here with us right now, from Brother Supreme, from Brother Tariq, from Brother Soapbox, and the plethora of other brothers and sisters that have been on this show. We welcome you back. With that being said, I hear that you have a nice segment for us coming up. So I look forward to hearing that personally and, adding on to it, as well as, aiding and assisting, my fellow brothers and sisters here on the show with knowledge and information, as well as receiving and being open to different perspectives from you guys. So as we all know, iron sharpens iron. With that being said, I yield back to Wilhelmina, our MC of the night. Dorian, if you want to add on to something or you just waiting for your segment, go ahead if you have anything to say.
No, I'm just grateful for the space you guys created. Yeah, and I just look forward to coming to more of these Zoom meetings. So thank you again.
Definitely. And everything she said, as far as building, I don't do the building, I don't do the uplifting. I keep everybody grounded. So, that's me. I'm what you would call the Charlemagne of the show. With that being said, I like to keep people grounded. I like to bring a different perspective outside of just more science, but also find a way to tie it back into more science so that it remains relevant to the show and also information that we can use. So I don't know if you know about me and myself, Uchida. I am the resident occultist. I am the resident healer. I am the resident crazy guy, color analyst. Um, Outside of what Wilhelmina does, which is the glue and the foundation of the show. Without Wilhelmina, this wouldn't be possible. Um, Myself, I like to look at myself as a supporting cast member. You know, Oliver is Shaquille O'Neal, Wilhelmina's Kobe Bryant, and I'll just be Rick Fox or somebody like that. You know, Robert Ory, just here for the 3-pointers. That's it. You know, when I'm called upon, I just shoot the shot. Outside of that, you know, just enjoy yourself, kick your feet up, get a beverage. Hell, do like David, cook a whole 5-course meal. You know, cook a whole 5-course meal while you at it. But over here, we want you to be comfortable. We want you to feel that this is a place, a safe space, in the truest sense of the word. Ideas and stuff will be challenged. However, we don't want you to feel like you're being challenged individually, just the concept, okay? So sometimes you might have somebody who don't agree and they're gonna state their opinion. However, please, for whatever, don't take it personal.
Mm-hmm.
For the majority of the show though, we pretty much get along. We pretty much same wavelength. Outside of me, I'm just gonna challenge everything. With that being said, I pass it to you, sister. Shall we start with the segment, or
You know,
do you want to open up with another topic, and then when the sister's ready, we can open up with her segment? I yield to you.
what do you want to do, Darian? 'Cause I'm excited either way.
Um,
So
it doesn't matter.
okay,
Okay.
let's do it. Should we wait for O, or have you heard from him yet? Is he coming, or?
Let me give him a ring or a text.
Okay,
I'll be right back.
all right.
I'm gonna pause everything and give me a.
Yeah, because like we said, he's the main patriarch of this thing. So usually we always try to keep each other on the show and in the loop of things. Also, one thing I forgot to also mention, Darian, Sunday night is our leisure night, if you will, where we pretty much ebb and flow in and out on a plethora of things, but nothing, really too in particular, but more science, it comes out, and just really us, just pretty much trying to just gain better understanding of things going on in the world, and then discussing what we can take away from it, I guess, if you will. But for the most part, yeah, Sunday nights is pretty much, like I said, leisure night. So I'm glad that I could invite you to this show. Wednesday nights is more way more, a little bit more, how should I say, not strategic, but segmented, planned out, with topics and things like that. Like I said, I'm glad that I could invite you to this show. We are in the process of getting things more and more together as we progress. So just keep that in mind for us. And yeah. Now how you gonna talk about me with the double? Oh, there you go.
Yeah. We're gonna hold off on the segment.
Okay.
Oliver is gonna make his way in soon.
All right.
He's running a little late, but he'll be on the way.
All right. Well,
Okay.
in the meantime, in between time, until he gets here, We do have some very great topics to talk to everyone about.
Okay.
As of not Sunday, Friday morning. Friday morning. Oh, here she go. Another sister, Sister Dawn with us. Whoop whoop.
Hey, Sister Dawn.
Whoop, whoop. Oh shoot. Let me make sure. Testing. All right. Just making sure.
She here?
Well,
I don't see her.
yeah. Where did she go?
Okay. What do we have on? What's the first item on the agenda?
All right. You remember what we talked about last time, that that YMCA?
Oh Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna save that for later. That ain't, we don't set it off like that. No.
Not like
That's
that.
too
That's too much.
mm-mm.
Oh,
That's too much.
oh
We
damn.
gonna wait. We gonna wait.
Oh man.
That's a beautiful one. We gonna wait.
Okay. All right. Well, tell you what, let me do it like this, Darian. Earlier today I shared with you about my experience in life with this Moorish science and stuff. And we were talking earlier this morning. I told you about my mom and my dad and how they raised me to always, know who my people were, so that you never forget who your people are and where you come from. And as a child, I was very grateful for that. If you don't know, allow me to tell you. I know I look young, as you stated, noticed earlier this morning. Um, and thank you so much for that. So I'm gonna share one photo with you so you get an idea of what I mean with my mother and father. Oops. Here's my pops and me. Can y'all see it? Or is it a glare? There we go.
Oh,
Me and my pops.
what happened?
Oh, shut up. that man you see right there is a Moor that goes by the name of William Campbell Williams. L. I don't know. Should I put L or Bay? And then this is my mom in the middle right here. Before she had me, probably. Anyway, here I am again, one more time. Give a little context on back this thing up. Mom and dad, and me in the middle. All right. So with that said, I'm gonna kind of continue on explaining what I meant this morning about the names that my mother gave to the three of us,
This.
me, my brother, and sister.
We weren't privy to this conversation earlier this morning.
Oh yeah. My bad. Sorry, y'all. Earlier this morning, we were just, talking about life and things, and I tried catching up with Darian yesterday, calling her, but I couldn't get her. But late last night, we got a hold of each other and just, just were talking about things. And then when I woke up this morning, she left a message, and I just replied back to her. And, we were just talking about not to get into her topic. I know we said we're going to wait, but, just talking about things along the line of genealogy and this Moorish, I don't want to say faction, or how do I say it? This Moorish life, I guess. Huh?
Moorish paradigm.
Yeah, Moorish paradigm. Thank you, sis. So yeah, we were just talking a whole lot and just anticipating on tonight and helping Darian later on tonight with her situation pertaining to her genealogy quest. So I was just telling her about, how it went for me as a Moorish woman, and just letting her know kind of what it is when you are more. Does that catch everybody up a little bit more privy to it, or
I mean, you let the
along the
cat
line?
out the bag already.
It's not letting the cat out the bag. It's not. I'm just telling her about history, you know?
If you could see the look on my face,
I'm sorry. You always look like that though. I don't know. It's like the Cheshire cat from Alice in Wonderland. You always get that grin on your face.
basically,
I never know what you thinking or feeling. You always got that look.
it is sinister.
And
But
I
no,
don't
sis,
know.
we gonna save that. We gonna save that for later. When we get into it, I really want to dive into it. I don't want to tiptoe around it or anything like that.
Okay.
Let's talk about something that will interest the sister.
All right.
Sister, is there any questions outside of the topic that you want to bring forth that we can speak on? We have a special guest. You didn't even ask her what she want to talk about outside of her topic.
I didn't.
No,
Oh, my bad. My bad. That's my bad, y'all. I'm sorry.
you good, sis. That's what you have me here for.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, Darian, go ahead. Got anything?
No, I'm just open to learning new things. The genealogy thing was just something aside that I've been trying to figure out. But no, I'm open to learning.
I'm sure it's something before that.
Something that's you're pondering in terms of the more science. There's a whole lot of information.
I should
Or
have came
just even in
prepared.
general. Or
I'm
just
not.
even in general.
Just you don't have to be prepared. Just any inkling and inquiries you have ever
And
wondered
listen,
about.
from pop culture all the way down to politics, we got it covered.
Right. Not really at the moment. I mean, the copper colored people and Aboriginal
Okay.
Americans, I kind of wanted to talk about that. I
We
kind of feel
can.
weird. Yeah, like telling people, oh, I'm copper color, I'm Aboriginal American, because it's not
Yeah.
on paper, I guess. Like they call us African Americans or Black or whatever. But
Good old misnomers.
wanted to explore that whenever.
Here we go.
Oh, hit them like that, huh? Okay,
Hey, listen, I come prepared, okay?
let's go.
Here we go. If you don't mind, Willa, would you mind reading for me?
Sure thing. Show you right, brother.
Well, let me give it some context. This was a conversation I was having with a friend via Facebook. And I just happened to, the first part is me, elaborating. The first part is me elaborating to him that we are not specifically Black.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mhm.
If you can read the first part, Willa.
Yeah,
This is,
I got you.
yeah.
We not Black though. We are copper-colored American people. American, an adjective pertaining to America. American, a noun. Excuse me. Apologize. Excuse me, y'all. Noun, a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. The name American must always exalt the pride of patriotism, end quote, by the Mameluke, as I call him, George Washington.
Right. So there's a few words and a few concepts that we have to address when we talk about the copper-colored races, right?
Indeed.
According to this definition, there's a word used right here, native, pertaining to what? To the land.
Yeah, to America,
right?
to the soil.
Okay. A native of America, meaning, a subject to the land or on the land, dealing with the land, people tied to the land,
Mm-hmm.
okay, of America. Originally, that's another word. Originally applied to the Aboriginals. See, that's another word, Aboriginal. Basically meaning those who inhabited an area or landmass first. Right? You with me? Hello?
Oh, yeah, correct.
Everybody here? Okay, cool. So we have the word originally applied to the Aboriginals. So that word was the word American was originally applied to the Aboriginals or the copper colored races found here by the Europeans. So that right there gives you everything you need to know. First, you have copper colored races, right? Even though the term race is their invention, but here it's not legalese in the sense of the term black. When you go into the law dictionary and you look up the term black, right? You go to court or any legal document, legal proceedings, you don't want to use the term black because it's defined to our detriment. The way they defined it, the way they put it, and the way they labeled us it's to our detriment. It's not in our favor. However, going with the contemporary or the modern day understanding of races, they made mention of a copper colored races. Isn't copper colored more akin to your skin color versus black?
Yes.
Yes. So even with just common sense, you could take a copper penny and put it next to you, and it'll favor the shade that you have versus that black crayon or something that is black. You understand?
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
Found here by the Europeans. So not only were these people aboriginals, they were found here by Europeans. Now here's the trick. The word is but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. So what happened is they took over your identity. You understand? They flipped it. They came over here as Slavs and serfs, basically indentured servants in that form or class. And when they came here, they flipped it. They took on the nobility titles and they gave you, I, and everybody else who's melanated on this North American continent the slave or the Slav name, which is black, Negro, colored, African American. All
Mhm.
of these things are misnomers. You understand? So it's not what you're called, it's what you answer to. You know, that's the key to it.
Mhm.
It's not what you're called, it's what you answer to. So, for all intents and purposes, if I call you a B word, are you going to answer to that? Does that apply to you? No, obviously not, right? Darian?
Mhm.
Right.
Right. If I call you that cuss word, the B word, you're not going to respond to that because that's not you. You don't identify with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And if anything, you'll probably correct me and say, excuse me, I know you're not talking to me or something to that effect because it has a negative connotation, correct?
Correct.
So this is the manner and the posture that Moors have when that black term is applied to them. Because we know legally it takes you away from a nationality. It takes you away from your identity. It takes you away from your pedigree. It takes you away from your birthright and your inheritances. and it takes you away from just being a human being. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're not even a human being with that term. You're considered property.
Mm.
So with that being said, does anybody want to? I yield back, but does anybody want to follow up with what I just said to the sister concerning the copper colored folks,
Yeah,
specifically dealing with the black label?
right. Yeah, I got something, but I'll leave it up to everybody else if they want to jump in first.
I yield to Dave.
Okay, that's cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's yield to the Sheik.
Go ahead, brother Dave, Daoud, Grand Sheik. You there, David?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I just had the phone muted. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
First off, how's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing great. Um, just that label black, dealing with the term black. Um, Anybody using common sense would know that if they look at their skin complexion, that they've never seen anybody on this planet with the color skin of black. Not even the darkest hued Africans or somebody that's real dark skinned. It'll be like a purplish, dark purple hue, but it still won't be the hue of black. Like I said before, the hair on my eyebrows and the color of my eyebrows is black. My beard is my my mustache is black. But if you're trying to compare the two, you can see that there's a huge difference between my complexion and it being different from that term where they try to label us as. Also, when it comes to the term black, like we learned in the Moorish Science Temple of America, black according to science means death, white means purity, purity means God, God means the root of the land. So of course, they're going to try to give us a label that's the opposite to theirs, that's inferior to theirs. So if I know that white means purity, purity means God, and God means the root of the land, I'm going to take on that label. I'm not going to take on a label that alludes to slavery or death or something that, like I said, we try to say black is beautiful or I'm black and I'm proud, or we try to cling on to all these different labels. But like, what are black cats known for? Known as bad luck. When when you see black cats or whatever, or you see devil, what they call devil's food, is dark. So everything that's associated with, not saying that the color black itself isn't something good, but when you place it up on yourself, or when it's placed upon you as a person, it has no descent nature. You can't trace yourself back to a landmass that's called black land or black topia or whatever. No place on this earth. The only black flag that I know is the black flag roach spray. That flag or whatever. That's dealing with
I'm sorry.
that's dealing with the death of roaches and all this other stuff, or killing roaches or killing bugs or whatever. So, but what Prophet Noble Ali brought back was our nationality as Moorish American Muslims, and that's being able to trace yourself back. That's giving your lineage back. Like with the pen, the stroke of the pen. Always remember that when they say the pen is mightier than the sword, with the stroke of the white man's pen, that's how we were brought over here from Africa when they rewrote history and had us changing history and rewriting history and making us think that all of us came over here on slave ships, on boats and all this other stuff. But my question is, if there were slave ships, where are they? I haven't seen a slave ship. All I see is some drawings, and it's been written in history books, but that doesn't mean that that's the truth. So how can I kill off the so-called natives quickly? It may not be quickly or whatever, but it's better than going. You might have to kill a few people, whatever, in order to get people to fall in line, but it's quicker to rewrite some history. Say your history came from over there across the waters, and me change it to where if they don't know that this is their land, this is their history, I can claim their land. I can claim their wealth. I can claim the stuff that's naturally theirs. If I brainwash them into thinking that their history started across the waters, instead of them understanding like right underneath their feet here in America, this is your land. This is what you should be proud of and appreciate. And we're the greatest people on the planet, the baddest people on the planet. And once they understood that, to where, okay, we're gonna take all that away from them and we're gonna place this label on them that we created when it comes to people, like that black term, like dead in law. That means we can get them to, if we get them to cling on to this label, they are subjugated to the jurisdiction of that label, the mistreatments, the abuses, out here being killed in the streets, out here being humiliated, wondering why we saying Black Lives Matter, but they looking at you like, nigga, your life don't matter. Nothing what you say matter. You don't even know your own history. You don't even know your own culture. You clinging on to something we gave you. So if you clinging on to something we gave you, we could treat you how we want to treat you because it's something we created. So until we as a people understand that we have a greater history than what's been told, and that someone has already came here, brought back our nationality, brought back our divine birthrights, connect us back to our history, dug up the that red flag with the 5-pointed green star, and went to Washington D.C., told them to give us back the flag, our flag. But at first they just gave him a red flag. But he's like, no, I want the red flag with a 5-pointed green star. So they know our history. We just don't know our history. But we're coming to that day and age to where either you gonna wake up to your nationality and your birthrights as a people, as a nation, as a race of people, or you're gonna be destroyed and taken off this earth plane the way you don't exist. So therefore, that's why we have to proclaim our nationality, know that we are something that like Willa was saying, we're not dead. We're not, we're living beings, and we're supposed to be treated like human beings are supposed to be treated, like the rest of the true citizens of this land, of this nation are treated, with respect, with land, with whatever, So with that, I yield back to Willa or Yachida. That's just my little rant about Black. But also, let me just say one more thing. I knew as a child that I wasn't Black. When it was trying to be pushed on me through family, friends, my teachers, I've had arguments with my teachers, letting them know that I'm not this color desk. And just having that common sense will let you know that you're not Black. So with that, I yield once again to Willa, to Yachida, and thanks for once again allowing me to have that opportunity to express myself. Peace.
Indeed, brother. Indeed. Thank you so much for that. Um, yeah, the thing about being black that our people have to understand, especially with this political thing that they get so wrapped and caught up in. The only reason that, okay, let me back up a little bit and give y'all a little context on what I mean. Have you ever wondered, I'm sure I'm not the only one, with all of the situations that go on around the country with so-called police brutality and the scab, if you will, this great injury, you know, that we're not letting it heal. We just keep picking and picking and picking at this whole racism, black versus white thing. But has anyone ever really asked themselves, well, if we've gone through these conflicts with these people for so long in this country, and we know by the horse's mouth, by their own mouth, that they say that they traveled here across the water to come over here. And when they did, they deemed it as the new world. However, we've been here since forever over here. America is the first to come out of the water, right? So being that we are the first to come out of the water in terms of this landmass, North America, Central and South, the three sisters or the three pharaohs, just like you have the three pyramids of Giza. That's what America is, Turtle Island. We know that. They even say that they came here and it was new to them. Only them, not us, but them. Why? Because they, up until the late 1400s, so-called whites, Witanagamas, Wotan, or Mameluke, amalgamated, white people, white Europeans. In order for them to be able to sail the world, they weren't always allowed to be on the boats coming back and forth to places. They just weren't allowed to do so. So that should tell people that, hold on, y'all are just now getting here in the year 1492, and you've never been here before. Yet they like to pretend as though they're so superior. How are you going to be superior to a land that you and your counterparts claim to have known no existence of in the first place? But yet, as Yachida showed us through the definition of what an American is, somehow, some way, they managed to flip it. And now they are Americans, even though they told us out of their own mouth that they are Europeans and that they came here from over in Europe, right? My thing is this: how come no one has ever wondered, well, through all the bullshit that we've had to put up with these people, why are they still allowed to be here, living on this land, out of all the problems that they have caused? Why are they not deported? You know what I mean? So my answer is this: it's Occam's razor, if you will. And if you don't know what Occam's razor is, to our audience, Occam's razor means it's the most logical thought, that's the most simplest, but it's also the most blatant, obvious of answers. It's just that logical. 10 out of 10, right? So the Occam's razor to this whole thing with white Europeans is, how are they allowed to stay here? they're allowed to stay here through something that they whipped up, and they call it the excuse of commerce. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean commercial property. Now, just think about it. Every neighborhood that you drive past, you always see new neighborhood, new residential areas popping up and being built in your state, wherever you reside at, right? I know they do that a lot here in Little Rock. Just new areas just pop up all the time out here. I've always wondered this as a child. It's like, wait, who told people that in order to build a house, you have to own the land and you have to pay for that land in order to live on that land and build yourself a house on that same land? Where did we get it that people who are not privy to this land here, to the soil, they didn't even know it existed over here up until just by happenstance, and they got lucky towards the end of the 13th century or whatever? How is it that all of a sudden us over here, the original inheritors of the land, we are made to pay money to these people, these invaders who have no absolute right to be here in the first place? Why though are we now letting them trick us and telling us we have to pay them for a land that was already ours to begin with? In all my years of living, in all my years of going to school, no one has ever been able to answer this question for me. And it's not that they're able to answer this question, that they almost forbid themselves and they forbid others to answer the question, right? So here's the thing about it. They are only here because they've worked it into, whether it's the treaties or whether it's new what they call trade agreements, or it's something, it has to be in paperwork. But because of this, they've managed to make people think that in order to be here, you have to pay to be here. You have to have jobs. Well, the reason that they are still here all has to do with that. And speaking of, I'll tell you how I know. We're in an election year, no doubt, right? Each election, no matter if it's every 4 years for a president or every 2 years for your local state representative or senator, they all run on the same ticket about talking about jobs. It's always the first thing out of politicians' mouth. We got to create jobs, 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 and more jobs, and got to get more and more jobs. Why? Why is that? What do jobs have to do with it? Well, let me tell you, it has to do with everything, because they have to continue to make up work continuously as long as they are here. They have to. There's no way around it. If they stop creating jobs out here, that right there puts an end to them being here on this land that is ours. This is why when you see a neighborhood being built up, a residential area, before they even, put the foundation for the first house down, as you're driving by, you'll see this big little billboard, makeshift billboard, standing right outside where soon they're going to put the gate of the neighborhood. On this little billboard next to the realtor's picture and name and contact, real estate agency, it's all there. And then it's going to say commercial property, commercial, residential, commercial area, commercial this, commercial that, commercial. Commercial means what? Commerce, money. Without commerce, white people would cease to be able to live here in America. And this is why they always kick up so much dust talking to you and me into voting for them. And in exchange for us giving them their vote, they're going to make it so that new jobs are created for you and me to work. So therein lies an exchange of you do this for me and I'll make a job for you to work like a slave on land that I got no control over whatsoever in the first place. I hope this makes sense to y'all and to you, Sister Darian. So I'm gonna take a little minute, just a little quick minute to just see if y'all following along. Okay, got the messages. Okay, that makes sense so far to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So with that in mind, if it's commerce that keeps them here, why do Black people, once we find this out, well, not Black people, excuse me, why do Moors, once they find out these type of truths, why do they not ever open their mouths to say anything about it and put a stop to it? Because if this is a place where a lot of our problems are stemming from, and we find out that this is what it is, and this is, you know, one of the sources for all of the pain and bullshit that we have to go through unnecessarily, why has no one ever thought to speak up and say something about it? Well, it's like I've always said, just like with this voting, people do not want to rock the boat. And those that do know are the ones who keep the secret the most. And why is that? Because for some reason, they are more glamorified, excuse me for that word, they are more glamored, if you will, to this life of working for their so-called oppressor or inferiors out here. And for some reason, we've been made to believe that if we move to a neighborhood where all the white people are living, we doing better. We moving on up. Ain't that what the Jeffersons sitcom taught us as children growing up?
Mm-hmm.
We used to watch, me and our generation, at least me and you, Darian, we at least grew up with Nick at Night on Nickelodeon channel. At nighttime, they would play all the old school Brady Bunch, the Jeffersons, All in the Family, I Love Lucy, all this, you know, Rick and Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
All these things. So my question, I guess, and I guess I could yield this to Sister Dawn or Brother David, because a lot of it, I'm pretty sure they've lived longer and know this world better than anybody out of the four of us. Why is it that you guys think that we don't want to just really get our shit together? Because the way I see it, I feel it boils down to this. They want to be lazy as hell. Even in school, as children, they make us stand up every morning in class at school and say the Pledge of Allegiance. And we recite these creed, this allegiance every single morning, and nowhere at all is the word democracy ever uttered by us. Yet and still, whenever politicians get to running for office, i.e. Hillary, Rodham Clinton, Bill Clinton, or these two dodo birds, Biden and Harris, they tell us democracy is at stake. You must get out and vote. But when we're kids, we recite the pledge and say the words, I pledge allegiance to the flag and the commerce, I say in parentheses, the commerce of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, I may not, be the sharpest tool in the shed or the brightest star in the sky. But every time these politicians get up and they run their damn mouth because they want our votes and they want to be our proxy people. That's basically what they're doing. They're asking you to be proxy over you because they're telling you and me that we are not of sound mind. Therefore, we cannot fathom how to take care of ourselves and wipe our own asses, even though we're grown ass men and women. They also bring up this word democracy. Where the hell did this shit come from? That's my question. Where did democracy come from, and why the fuck is that the main thing that they always shove down our fucking throats? Excuse my language. So I yield, and I guess yield and call upon Sister Faye, see her take on it, or David, or even you, Darian, if you have a take. So yeah, y'all there? Anybody?
Let's you said Darian, that's her name.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are some of the questions that you may have, or what's some of the things that that you see in this world that have you questioning certain things, or what has opened your eyes to a lot of the stuff that's going on, or since you've been born?
I'm just now kind of unlearning things and I don't want to say reprogramming myself, but yeah, what would I say? I don't have anything specifically at the moment, but yeah.
What about you, Sister Faye? What about you? How did you come into acknowledge yourself, and what are some of the things that awaken your eyes to a lot of stuff that's going on in this world?
Well, I came into knowledge of self just realizing I've always been a person who asks questions. People don't like me around because I'm always going to be the one to say, well, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, where did you get that from? I was always like that, even as a child. And so throughout my life, I realized the world is not built for the righteous. And what I mean by that is, as I grew up and I looked around, I saw if you could lie, if you could steal, if you can kiss ass, you were going to go far in this world. But if you had any form of moral standard or any, uh, just anything about you to say, you know what, I don't think that's right, or I don't feel comfortable doing that, you were the one that was shunned in the world. So that led me, on a quest. Why is that led me on the quest to realize this was not built for the right. And learning that, and studying that and studying a little bit of philosophy. And, I ran into more science. I ran into our scholars that I've learned for our philosophers, our modern day philosophers, such as Bobby Hennett and Penn, uh, C. Freeman L. These are our modern day philosophers. And so listening to them led me to more science, which led me to nationality. Because I'm kind of like, I think there was David who said, I always knew I wasn't black. When I was a child, I remember looking up the word black and things, and it was saying, uh, dirty, nasty. I was like, that is not me. I don't know who these black people are, but that is not me. So subconsciously, that was always in the back of my mind as well. And so just, as I got older, as I
Uh-huh.
started, just really observing and being around people, I realized how important it is for us as a people to have our own and to get our own. However, it's been a fear and it's subconscious. They have programmed our subconscious mind to such an extent. I see people who are supposed to be, and I'm just using this term for the conversation, black, pro-black or pan-black,
Mm.
and they have memes on their page with Caucasians in it. And I'm like, you don't see this? Or they'll be on there, talking about black politics and black this and like that. And their opening pictures will be full of Caucasians. So I'm like, do they not see this? This don't even make sense. Just let me know. I said, oh no, it's deeper than them folks done got an eye here.
Mhm.
Them folks got an eye here. We might be a copper colored on the outside, but our mentality is strictly European. And we adopted the European. It has infiltrated us. And we don't even So I don't think it's a point of being necessarily lazy. I feel like our subconscious mind has been infiltrated with their image, with their ideology.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? We didn't accept this. We are part of. You know what I'm saying? That we
Mhm.
didn't took on our oppressors. We don't sing the bars. You see what I'm saying? So we think we part of, and that's so far from the truth. It's so far from the truth that we're not a part of their system. Their system was set up for them, and we keep trying to break down this door that was built by their ancestors for them. You know, do that make sense? We keep trying to go through that door instead of finding out who our ancestors is. And I feel like the reason we don't dig far enough is because of shame, because we feel like we are people of slaves or we came from a slave. You see what I'm saying? So
Uh-huh.
that automatically they traumatize us in that way by putting these dumbass movies on TV with hook, line, and sinker. So that our vibration is already low when it comes to researching our people because shame is a very low vibration. It's one of the lowest you can have. You see what I'm saying? So shame keeps us away from our information and keeps us from being who we are and thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. You see what I'm saying? The grass is greener on the other side because they took the best for themselves and left us with nothing. Period. That's on period. But you don't know that this your stuff. Then when people come and tell you, hey, this is your stuff, you don't believe it. Why you don't believe it? Because they not already feel the image of the people so-called us man. Running around here with feathers going, woo, 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 woo. Who does that? That's some made up stuff. I don't care what nobody says. It's made up. It is. It don't even make sense. It grates on my nerves. I don't even believe people walking around. I really don't. I really don't. It don't even sound right. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't stumble with this, and so they have put us in a position of shame. I really feel like that's what's wrong with our people. We are, and that is a very low.
Hold on, Sister Faith. Willa, can you mute your phone? I think it's making a lot of feedback coming from your phone while she's speaking.
Oh, my bad. Oh, sorry.
Fine, I was almost
Go
done.
ahead.
I really think that's part of our problem as a people is we are people who suffer from shame because somebody lied to us about our history, and they the father lies, and they did a very good job at it. And the only ones who have halfway survived is those whose family had a lot of pride. And I ain't saying pride in a negative way. Like my grandmother, she couldn't stand Caucasian. You know, she told us a lot without telling us much, if that makes any sense. She told us a lot, but she didn't tell us much. She always told us to hold our head up. She showed us these things. She didn't necessarily verbalize, but she showed us how to stand up for ourselves, how to look people in the eye, how to speak truth. You know what I'm saying? And she told us we were never slaves. She's like, I don't know what these folks talking about. We ain't never been no slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And she was definitely speaking from her family point of view. But that's a lot of our people reality, that their families would never, indenture service. Because at the end of the day, anybody sitting at an 8 to 5, guess what? You a servant. You an indentured.
Indeed.
You a employee. You a slave. Trust. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the employee is, a slave. And see, people say these words like indentured service. HR just got better. They just can't come in there and kick you no more.
Right.
Anybody understand that?
Speak on it, sis.
When we look at that word, the slave is an employee. And HR back in the day was stuck. It just got better. I mean, even if we look at the HR, in the 1920s, they were still sexual harassment was nothing. They would squeeze the, secretary titty and smack on the booty. I mean, HR just got better. Human resource just got better.
Not smack on the booty, sis.
Yeah, they smack on the booty, grab it. I mean, the HR just got better. It's just certain things you can't do to your employees no more. And so we done got caught up because we don't know the terms. We don't know the vocabulary. Ain't nothing changed. Nothing. Nothing has changed. We're still doing what we've been doing. Not being ourselves. Period. Wanting straighter hair, thinner lips. You know what I'm saying? All this other slimmer hips instead of being grateful and gracious for what the Almighty created us. Because it ain't all of Albion's fault now. It ain't his responsibility to lift us up. It ain't his responsibility to tell us our history. That was our family's responsibility to pass down information to the generation. That's not their fault. That's not their fault. Don't put it all on them. I look at my family. We could have done better as a people. And these folks that's running out here retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is environment and some of it is genetics. I mean, hey, their brain is dysfunctional. It's wired differently.
Right.
You know what I mean? So please watch over who you sleeping with and have them children back. Because your baby might come out a little off. That's important. These kind of things that our ancestors forgot to tell us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it ain't all the Albion's fault. Poorness is a state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Just because you ain't living in a mansion, you ain't got no car, don't mean you poor.
Thank
You
you.
poor when your thinking and how you think. I grew up in the project.
Mhm.
I didn't know what the word poor until I got around so-called Caucasians, started going to Williams School, and I was like, oh, what is we? What is this? Y'all carry y'all lunch at the school fed. I didn't know.
Right.
But I was unaware. But I was happy. Why? Because I had my family. Even though in the summertime we wore flip flops. Period. That was our summer shoe.
Mhm.
Flip flops. I ain't know no better. I thought everybody wore flip flops. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
I never grew up with that mentality of lacking because I always had what I needed. And I know this might be all over the place, but I'm trying to cover everything.
No,
These
you
are
good. You good, sis. Go all. Do you?
these are our issues and our problems. Our issues and our problems first is shame. We are ashamed. Shame. You know why I can say we shame? Because I don't see nobody standing up to this dang on Albion like we should be standing up to him.
Thank you.
You see what I'm saying?
Somebody gotta say it.
I don't. We gotta unify and stop fighting amongst each other. We disagree in pride, but when we come in front of people, I don't care if we be like, oh, I can't believe he said. We keep that to ourselves until we get in pride.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? We
Absolutely.
don't front on them like we recommending our people for the Avion for a show. You see what I'm saying? I see a lot of
Right.
going on. Don't make no sense. It's pathetic. Okay, we
Loving.
got to clean up ourselves first. We got to clean up our mind first. Period. People talk about, well, it's just a law. Moralism don't mean it. Bullshit. Moralism, yeah, starts with you first. Clean up self. First, just learn how to tell the damn truth around here. Stop lying. I don't care. Did you go to the store today? Yeah, no, you lying. Just stop doing that. Just stop lying. You small. If you stop doing these kind of things, lying, bring your vibration down real low. Stop lying.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If we just stop lying and live a more chaste life instead of running after them and filth, we'd be a whole lot farther than we are now. Even if we didn't know nothing about nationality, we would have been shaming them.
I agree. I agree.
Shaming them. We would have stood up when we saw them doing wrong and said something instead of being scared. They used to would have us in the kitchens, and it wasn't that they wanted, because they knew we would tell it. You know what I'm saying? That's why Chinese, they be talking about now Chinese don't have, us in the kitchen because it's part of their heritage. That's a lie. They ain't been cooking rats. And they know this is terrible. Y'all better not come in here. They ain't killing rats up in here and
Right.
feeding it to y'all. That's why they don't want you in their kitchen.
Cat meow. You want some shrimp
Okay,
fried
for real.
mice?
I ain't gonna say allegedly. Okay.
What'd you say, David?
Just people say
You want
allegedly.
shrimp fried? You think they saying shrimp fried rice? They saying shrimp fried mice. You want shrimp fried mice?
But these are some of the things we gotta come to terms with first as a people before we can consider being of one mind. We
Right.
gotta start cleaning up self. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We gotta stop being ashamed
Right.
from our hair to our look, and a part of that shame is they didn't got in our head, some of our heads, which is slavery narrative. That we just come from slaves. And if you're looking for black or colored, a Negro, you ain't gonna find your people in ancient history because that wasn't their name. That's not what they went by.
Right.
You
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you start looking for black people. You ain't gonna find them in history books with slavery because that's the only place they were. Do you
Right.
see what I'm saying? And that's a misnomer. That's a name that they placed on us as a curse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But you start going back in history, you'll find your people on the Carthaginians,
Mm-hmm.
Greece, Canaanite, you know, all these Turks. These are the names that your people went by. Our people went by, but don't nobody want to receive and accept it because well wait a minute, these people was Muslims. Guess what, boo? Some of your people was Muslims. Ain't no shame in that.
Right.
They didn't expect you to keep you away from that information, so you won't accidentally run into yourself on that road.
Thank you. Can I give you the horn for that? I don't wanna blow the horn while you're talking. Can I get a horn for that for you? Continue, my sister. Go ahead.
I'm
Continue.
just pretty much, I really don't speak a lot because you know, listen mostly. I try to get in early when I can't get in the show because I know Wilhelmina is always gonna be going off about something and she tickles me. So I
Damn,
try
baby. Damn right.
I like to be on before recording.
Mhm.
Yeah, these are some of the things that we as a people we gotta start cleaning up self. And really that whole conversation was for me. Trust. That was for my ears.
I hear you. I
Mhm.
hear you. I
Cleaning
But
up.
that's some, but you had some great points. Like I said, as far as like us lying to each other,
Mhm.
our parents lying to us, as very young age, as children and all this other stuff, teaching us lies about the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, and things that they know that aren't true, but we going along with it. And when we go along with that, those lies, we they we as children, once we figure out that Santa Claus is not real, or the Easter Bunny or whatever, that that lets you know then and there that our people, it's okay to lie in a sense. We've been lied to, so we kind of carry on that lie and lie to our own children about things. But when it came to me, I didn't. I told my daughter, I ain't no such thing as Santa Claus. Even though it may hurt their feelings, I feel like if you tell the truth, that's the main thing. Even though it hurt, it's better to give somebody the truth than to continue to feed them lies.
Every time.
And I think that the whole black label of black and us calling ourselves black is taking on a huge lie. It's taking on a whole bunch of stuff that come with a whole bunch of burdens, but it come with that energy of death behind it. So that's why you see all these killing in the streets. You see all this stuff going on with black, 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 and we still wondering. We still trying to go to the European, or we trying to go to other people and ask them, like, prove to them we human, we are man, or we right. I mean, we have a right to live, but that authority doesn't come from them. That comes from God. But we have to, like I said, stop lying and learn to tell the truth in front of, again, no matter how hard it may be for people to swallow, no matter how hard the pill may be to swallow, being able to tell them the truth so that they can learn to be themselves. I think we've been trying to do so many things to um, gain acceptance, seek acceptance, through everybody else. But like you said, we don't accept ourselves. So it's like we're trying to keep trying to navigate and find our way. But that main thing is we have to stop clinging to that label, which, like you said, began with slavery. And we should know as a people that our history started way before then. So who were we before we started clinging to the label of, black and colored and all this other stuff? Who were we? We hear about we were the Egyptians, we were kings and queens and all this other stuff, but actually, who were we? What were we doing, and how did we get ourselves in this predicament? In this position. You know, what about you, Willa? Yielding the floor back over to you,
Oh,
or
appreciate.
Faye.
Yeah, I'm soaking up the game so far from the both of y'all because y'all are who I consider my elders, so I'm soaking in as much of the game, and I love to hear both of y'all speak on these things because they need to be said and seen through the eyes of the both of you all. I mean, you too, you know, because it helps put a lot into perspective. And I made one little note as Sister Faye was talking. I was thinking about how she said that we've allowed them to get into our heads, and that's absolutely true. I don't know if you guys remember, it wasn't that long ago, I say maybe a month ago by now. The getting in our head part, I thought of two people, but they're not the only so-called white folks who in the hip-hop music industry who do this. The hip-hop industry is riddled with these type of suburban white boys, class of white boys who always try to get involved with hip-hop, and they fall in love with the hip-hop culture and everything else. And then you have even more culture vultures that they look up to, like for instance, the two that shall not be named any other time, but I'll go ahead and say their names this time. DJ Vlad and the other younger one known as Adam 22, I believe. Both of these are types of guys that I think that I thought of as soon as Sister Faye said what she said about we've allowed our enemy to get into our head. And when you think about it, just looking at hip hop in general, hip hop has to be, the most accessible genre of music that we have created, but we've let them in like a mob at a sold out concert. And they to the point where they want to be down so badly with us. You see them everywhere. They don't dress anymore like their fathers, traditional white class, white collar, button up, Bill Gates with the button, shirt and the khaki business pants or whatever, just casual, and the New Balance or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay. And things like that, so we have these type of young men that we've let in, and it's gotten to the point where a lot of our people are starting to see them for what they are, and that's nothing but just hold on, that's nothing but
Hold on, that's me.
vultures being vultures and just sucking the life out of us.
Hold on, that's me. That's me.
Okay. Just sucking the life out of everything that we do. And hip hop, I look at hip hop as the last leg that we have to stand on, that they've, like termites, just taking over it, or trying to, and I look at people like DJ Vlad and I wonder, why do so many of our people always give this guy so much of their lives and insight to who they are as grown men and women? Rappers are just always on his YouTube page, always getting interviewed by him. And for what? Meanwhile, he's the only one that gets rich. And he's getting rich off of us, off of our life, off of our stories. Why?
We feel like that's a part of that acceptance. We feel like that's a way for us to get inside their club or whatever, be accepted amongst them.
Right.
And we really don't have to. When you know thyself, you really don't. You know that the true wisdom, the true light, the true knowledge gonna come from within. Within yourself, and it's about learning to love yourself and to appreciate yourself and appreciate your history and get rid of the subconscious programming that has taken place throughout our lives. From the singing the old Negro spirituals, "We Shall Overcome," and the Black History Months, celebrating that stuff. Just celebrating certain key people in our history when there have been way more people, in our history that have fought for us. But like with Noble Drew Ali, like the picture you have up there of Noble Drew Ali teaching us our nationality and bringing back our nationality and divine creed as a people. So when it comes to us learning of ourselves, we have to appreciate our natural beauty, our natural strengths, our natural history. And like Faye was saying, so many things have been taken away from us. Or we have, like, let's say the way we cook food, is known as soul food or whatever, so-called, Blacks.
Right.
Just cooking it with, love and energy and seasoning the right way, and, things that they just, we have just grown to really hate ourselves when we really have to love our greatness, love our uniqueness as a people, because so many people are envious of it and want to have it for themselves. And if they can't have it, they'll rather use it up as a battery or, experiment on us or try to do all type of things in order to try to figure us out. But in Breaking Bad, you seen Breaking Bad? If you all have seen Breaking Bad, when they broke down the body, right? It was an episode where him and the main character, Walter White, and his ex-girlfriend, they were in the classroom and they were breaking down the physics of the body are like 7% is bone, 10% is, whatever, but it was a certain percentage that was missing.
Right.
And she was saying, and he ended up saying, like, what about the soul? So the soul kind of, even though it's weightless or whatever, they kind of had to account for that. So what they're trying to do is constantly try to tap into that part and figure out what makes us us, what makes you you,
Right.
what makes your hair curl up and there's just, fall straight down. What gives us this hue, what makes the sun not bake us, kill us, destroy us, but actually heals our body, nourishes our body, protects our body, and it does other things to them, bakes them or whatever, so it's always trying to figure us out because they're envious in a sense. Not saying all of them are, but a lot of them have this envy thing to where they feel threatened by us because of our greatness.
Right.
And a lot of them that are in the know think that we will do the same thing that we did in the past, when it comes to civilizing them and educating them or, even mistreating them. I mean, I don't think they fear us educating them and us coming to our own, as long as it's not that whole, we just gotta take them out type of energy. You know,
Yeah, that's not to cut you off.
you good.
That's always been a a wonder of mine, myself, and I know Sister Faye has also expressed this as well, where we can't figure out the logic of these people. It's like, okay, so you're telling us for years that you hate us, but at the same time, y'all also talk about how you have us working in your homes, raising your children and cooking your food. Like, what logic is this? How do you hate someone so much, but yet you trust them enough to cook and clean and see about your children for you? That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Like you said, what's the movie where the maids that came out a few years ago about the maids?
Oh yeah, was it The Help?
Yeah, the help. Yeah, and
What's up?
it's like, why? How would you be able to trust somebody, that's cooking your food and all this other stuff if they were all such, like bad people, and then at the end where they make the pie or whatever,
Right.
and it was, had some shit in it,
The
huh?
fecal matter.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Fecal matter in it. It's like, why would you trust somebody to do these things if you have so much hatred towards them?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you think that somebody wouldn't eventually snap like a Nat Turner or something, get tired of all the abuses and mistreatments, and go out here and do what they did, do what he did, in order to show these people that you're not gonna keep treating me like, I'm a piece of fecal matter,
Right.
So to me the whole thing is, it's something very special about us here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, that's why everybody keep coming here,
Right.
and something special about this land, and something special about our music that has changed the world. Like I said before, the Michael Jacksons, the Prince, Ray
Right.
Charles, James Browns, all the great inventions that have happened over here. You don't hear about a lot of inventions elsewhere. You might have people that haven't invented certain things, but a lot of the inventions took place on this land during so-called slavery or whatever,
Right.
which lets you know that things couldn't have been the way that they've portrayed it to us. Like, we couldn't have been that dumb or that ignorant or that stupid. Even if they wasn't reading, even if they wasn't teaching us certain things or allowing us to read, there were people out there that could read,
Mm-hmm.
read even though they weren't allowed to, read the stars, read the heavens, do a whole bunch of things that they probably couldn't have done or didn't want or was trying to squash, and bury and reconstruct, throughout history, rewriting through the Boston Tea Parties when they were burning books, the burning of Atlanta, as an example.
Right. And the White House as well.
Mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm. So we couldn't have been that bad of a people if we were able to do so many awesome things, create so many awesome, come up with so many awesome ideas. And even though we didn't get credit for it, we still was the ones that were able to create it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But go ahead, Willerman.
Indeed. And hold on. One of the things I always wondered is like you said, we couldn't have been this goddamn stupid. And the thing is, like you were saying, we never do hear about inventions from where they were from over there. The most that I've heard that's the most extravagant thing that they've ever come up with, they say, is gunpowder and fireworks. And they still had to go to Asia just to get that.
Right. Well, I have a story that, David, when you was talking about, the inventions that we did.
Mhm.
One year, I don't go to church. I haven't been to church as far as just going probably 20 years. But anyway, one of my friend girls, she is a Sunday school teacher, and so they was having, for lack of a better term, Black History, their Black History program. And I was telling her, I said, well, I said, she invited me. I said, okay, I'll come. I said, but do some research. I don't want to sit there and be hearing about these same old, not disrespecting anybody, but I'm just saying,
Right.
these same 5 Black people that they talk about doing Black History month. I said, it's for people who are right, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman,
Suspect.
Martin Luther King. I was like, we have an extensive history of invention, and she was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do some research. Well, lo and behold, when I got there on Sunday, guess who names I heard? Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, the same old people.
The usual.
I was like, this gotta stop. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they got our mind, some of our minds in a box. That we can't we see our people greatness like they just see every day. It's always around.
Right.
But we don't even acknowledge everybody is copying us. Even in our stupidity, our young men walking around here with their drawers, showing. Everybody doing it. The Chinese doing it, the Arabians doing it. Well, they don't Arabian, but you know what I mean. Everybody is walking around with their doggone drawers showing.
Right.
Even in our school, everybody, you go to China, what they trying to do? They trying to rap. Are they trying to look like Carly B? Are they trying to be this? Everybody, even in our ignorance,
Mhm.
everybody copies us.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't even want to be us.
Mhm.
Right.
And then it's not even, but we being the worst version of ourselves. It's gonna be a dangerous thing when we become the best of what we are.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the world gonna end.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
there ain't nothing else to do.
Mhm.
Right.
And that's what's happening. That's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
They are afraid that their time is up. And it's time for us to rise and our greatness to come out. And so like I said, to wake up from that sleep that we've been put in for all these years as a people. Just it used to make me sad. It used to make me sad and depressed, to hear that. Like I said, the we shall overcomes and all this stuff, like the roots,
Right.
the movies and all this other stuff that just constantly keep trying to keep trying to bury us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot why do y'all keep making these slave movies?
Right.
Okay, we know that we were slaves, but then you're gonna come up with a movie called Gods of Egypt or whatever, and you have Europeans portraying the gods of Egypt. So they'll put themselves in something magnificent, but have us act like, oh Lord and Master, want me to shine your shoe, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Always being
me. I'm sorry, Massa. I didn't mean to spill your grits.
Yeah, always being subjugated to them. But what about our greatness?
Right.
We couldn't have always been this low, or always been subjugated to this mistreatment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad like I say, in the circle 7, through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honored not the creed and principles of their forefathers.
Mhm.
So we got away from all that stuff. And because we got away from all that stuff, we have taken on these labels that really don't belong to us. That never have belonged to us.
Right.
We think that it belongs to us, so we try to cling on to it, so for Darian, I don't know if you have a Quran Circle 7 or Circle 7 Quran.
No, I don't. Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta get a Circle 7 Quran, a Quran Circle 7.
Let me pull it up let's see. What is it? RV Bay, would you say they the best one?
Yeah, you can. It'll come up on Amazon as well.
Okay.
The Quran, the Holy Quran Circle 7. Yeah, you just pull it up or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Here's one. Okay, I got it.
and see, Darian, the thing is like this. When Noble Ali brought back when it says, it says this is chapter 47, I think. Yeah, chapter 47, but it's on verse 9 from the Quran Circle 7, Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America by Noble Ali.
What page?
Divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali.
What page does it say?
58.
58. Okay.
No, hold on. I mean, just go all the way towards the 48, the capital empire. Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. So you gotta go down to 102. You gotta scroll down to 102.
Okay. Oops. I'm on page 48 though, right? Or did
in the book, in this book, it's on page 58. But on there, it's gonna be on go down to 102.
Okay. I'm on 102. Right.
All right, so go back one page.
Okay.
Yeah, go up. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, right there. Right. Yeah, right there. 9. Right there at 9.
Right here, according.
Where it says, yeah, according to all true and divine records of the human race.
Can you
there
see
is no
Darian? You can see
Yeah,
it.
I can.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
It says, according to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, Black, or colored race attached to the human family, because all of the inhabitants of Africa were and are of the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the land of Canaan. What your ancient forefathers were, you are today without doubt or contradiction. There is no one who is able to change man from the descent nature of his forefathers, unless his powers extend beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself.
Mm-hmm.
So now when somebody try to place on you the labels of Negro, Black, color, and all this other stuff, it still doesn't stop you from being who God created you as. Your mom, your dad, their mom, their dads.
Mm-hmm.
That tree that goes this way, really, when you're looking at it, to where, my mom, my dad, his mom, his dad, my mom's mom and dad, that tree that spreads out.
Uh-huh.
And then from me being on this earth, whatever seeds I have, it could be my daughter, whoever, they have children or whatever, that seed will go and spread. So no one is able to change you from that, of the greatness of your forefathers, because they don't have that power, period. They don't have that power at all.
Absolutely.
They can try to act like they do, but they don't. And then if you go down to 15, I mean, we can go through it. But I'm just going, a few little verses, but it says,
Go ahead, do your thing, bro. Go ahead.
15, it says, the time has come when every nation must worship under his own vine and fig tree,
Mhm.
and every tongue must confess his own. 16, through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honor not the creed and principles of their forefathers. 17, that is why the nationality, I always remember that nationality, that is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774. And the word Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America who were of Moorish descent because they honored not the principles of their mother and father and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing of. Let's see, they'll say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whom they knew nothing. So a lot this Quran that I have, some of the words have been
Right, got
flip flopped or whatever. But
just like they do with the Bible or something.
mhm. Yeah. So that's what you see a lot of us doing. We're straying out. We're chasing after another people. Nature, history, and all this other stuff. We're chasing after them, thinking that that they have what we need, or they're going to provide all the answers that we need. And they have that answer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to make, they have that power to grant us life on this earth. Or they can say, okay, I now declare you a human being.
Right.
That doesn't come from them. That came from God. And that's what we have to understand as a people.
Planned Parenthood, Roe versus Wade, Roe v. Wade, or whatever. They always like to bring it up about whether a woman can or can't, all this stuff. And I always chalked it up to like, damn, y'all just always got this God complex. Like, you can never leave well enough alone. You just can't. It
says,
go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead.
No, I was that's all. That was only my little 2 cents on thoughts on it.
And then the next chapter, where at the end of time and the fulfilling of the prophecies, it says, the last prophet in these days is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared divinely in due time by Allah to redeem man from their sinful ways and to warn them of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. Verse 2, John the Baptist was the forerunner of Jesus in those days, to warn and stir up the nation and prepare them to receive the divine creed, which was to be taught by Jesus. It said divine, so you always got to remember that word too.
Divine.
In these modern days, there came a forerunner that was divinely prepared. Just like in this more science, the Quran, it doesn't say written by Noble Drew Ali. It says divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali. So he divinely prepared it. So that's just like you making a meal or something. You coming up with a meal, and you may not necessarily have made, had the eggs, like the eggs, like in the farm or something in your house, but you went to go get the eggs. You went to go get the cheese, or you went to go get the greens from this place or whatever, and you bring it together and you prepare a meal or whatever. So that's what he did for us. You know what I'm saying? Brought certain things together and prepared it, and prepared it as in the form of the Holy Quran, Circle 7. But it says, back to 3, in these modern days, there came a forerunner that was divinely prepared by the great God Allah, and his name is Marcus Garvey, who did talk and warn to teach, I guess I'd say teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare to meet the coming prophet, who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam. And his name is Noble Drew Ali.
Mm.
He was prepared. So he had to be prepared too.
Right.
And sent to this earth by Allah to teach the old time religion and the everlasting gospel, everlasting. So it ain't gonna stop. The everlasting gospel to the sons of men, that every nation shall and must worship under their own vine and fig tree, and return to their own and be one with their Father God, Allah. So as long as we keep trying to say, well, the white, we keep seeking the white man and all this other stuff or whatever, and seeking his guidance, seeking all the answers from him, we'll always be straying after the gods of Europe in a sense. Like when we trying to get into the Hollywood, we want to be in their movies, we want to be this, we want to be that, we want to do all this other stuff. But then next thing you know, when you get into those, like Cat Williams said, you end up looking in the wrong door. The mansion parties and all this other stuff. And next thing you know, you see somebody getting plucked or stuck. One of your favorite actors or actresses doing some crazy stuff that you didn't think they would be doing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they in order to get into their movies, their this, their that, you have to do certain things that they want you to do. But you still have a choice. Either you're going to do it or you're not. So that's why you see all these men wearing these dresses, like you said, the Charles Barkleys, and you'll see the Ving Rhames and all these other people. First they had this real masculine image. Then next thing you know, they out here getting pussified or emasculated. Not disrespecting those people, but they still have to understand by them the things that they did, how it has affected us as a people. And how it has helped in the brainwashing of our children, thinking that all this stuff is okay when it's really not. So that's why you see all that stuff, where it says we got to worship on our own vine and fig tree and return to their own and be one with their Father God, Allah. The Moorish Science Temple of America is a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization. Any subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter, the prophet has them to issue to every state throughout the United States, etc. That the world may hear and know the truth. That the world may hear and know, not just believe anymore, that among the descendants of Africa, there is still much wisdom to be learned in these days for the redemption of the sons of men on the love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Let me repeat that one more time. That the world may hear and know the truth, that among the descendants of Africa, there is still much wisdom to be learned in these days for the redemption of the sons of men on the love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Some people, that's why they envy us so much.
Right.
Because they don't want it, because they still know that if they've survived through all this stuff and have learned all this stuff and still ain't been out here just murder, whatever, they have been out here still exercising love.
Hold on, repeat that last part. It had you chopping up.
It broke up. Hold on. Just make sure that the signal is okay in here. Not saying that because there is still, like I said, still much wisdom to be learned in these days for the redemption of the sons of men. We're still trying to be redeemed, and still learning, but they don't want us to learn about greatness, because that's going to elevate us above all the bullshit that they trying to present to us, and all this fear and fear mongering and all this other stuff that they present to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it says, there's still much wisdom to be learned in these days for the redemption of the sons of men under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We, and listen to this, we as a clean and pure nation, descended from the inhabitants of Africa, do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the families of the pale-skinned nations of Europe. Neither serve the gods of their religion, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations, as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation, while we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that difference: earthly salvation versus earthly and divine salvation for us as a people. That's why we can't be chasing after them, you know what I'm saying? Or that's why, in a sense, they say that the Europeans can only go so high or whatever, go so far, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to like even wearing the fez or whatever, it being bound at 33 degrees because of their limitation of receiving certain amounts of knowledge or wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we have to understand. So when they say this is a divine and national movement, it's the divine national movement, can't be stopped. So, you know, so it's 9, it says, the covenant of the great God Allah, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be longer upon the earth land, which the Lord thy God Allah hath given thee. Come, all ye Asiatics of America, and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not Negroes. Learn of your forefathers' ancient and divine creed, that you will learn to love instead of hate. We are trying to uplift fallen humanity. Come and link yourselves with the family of nations. We honor all the true and divine prophets. So that's what we have to understand right there.
Absolutely.
You know, our greatness as a
Mm-hmm.
people, you know what I'm saying? So by us clinging to that black label, we bringing that energy with us. We bringing that dead energy with us. And we wondering why don't Black Lives Matter to y'all?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Cause
not elevating
mm-hmm.
under this black ceiling.
You know, so yeah, so and then also like let me just go to the front. Chapter 1, I mean not chapter 1, but at the beginning where it said you go all the way up to
Let's see.
And just stroll to
Contents.
where it says know thyself and thy father God Allah.
Know thyself.
No, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going up past all that, right?
Okay. Wait. Here it is. Okay. Here
Right
it is.
there.
Got
the
it.
next one. No, the next one. Yeah. It says
Chapter 1. Okay.
No, don't go to chapter 1. You gotta go to chapter 1. Go back up.
Know
right
thyself.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, this divinely prepared. There's a difference between writing something and then, like I said, preparing it. So we have to know that it's divinely prepared by no prophet Drew Ali. But it says, know thyself and thy father God Allah. The genealogy of Jesus with 18 years of the events, life works, and teachings in India, Europe, and Africa. These events occurred before he was 30 years of age. So you know, when people say in the Bible, what happened to Jesus between the age of 12 and then 30, that's like 18 years that's missing in
Right.
the Bible,
Right.
you know. So like I said, these events occurred before he was 30 years of age. These secret lessons are for all of those who love Jesus and desire to know about his life, works, and teachings. Dear readers, and he gave you a warning, dear readers, do not falsely use these lessons. They are for good, peace, and happiness for all those that love Jesus. Dear mothers, teach these lessons to your little ones that they may learn to love instead of hate. Dear fathers, by these lessons you can set your house in order and your children will learn to love instead of hate.
Right.
The lessons of this pamphlet are not for sale, but for the sake of humanity, as I am a prophet and the servant is worthy of his hire. You can receive this pamphlet at expense. The reason these lessons have not been known is because the Muslims of India, Egypt, and Palestine had these secrets and kept them back from the outside world. And when the time appointed by Allah, they loosed the keys and freed these secrets. And for the first time in ages, have these secrets been delivered in the hands of the Muslims of America. All authority and rights of publishing of this pamphlet, 1927. So what Noble Drew Ali brought was, you know, like us, our history, you know, like, hold on, what I'm trying to say right quick. Hold on. Prophet and founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America to redeem people from their sinful ways. So it says, know thyself in Allah, the genealogy of Jesus, life works of Jesus in India, Europe, and Africa, in the land of Egypt. So with that right there, that's it has some of the years of some of the works of Jesus' life through that time period where he was from 12 to 30 years old. And like I said in the Bible, he goes away at 12 and then returns at the age of 30. And then I think he teaches for like 3 more years, you know, from 30 to 33. So that's where that significance of the number 33 comes in, that dealing with masonry as well. But if you wanted to go deeper into it, the holy, if you want to go into the more deeper in depth, more information about that, write down the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ. Have you ever heard of that book?
Oh, that's a good one, bro. That is a great one.
You've heard of that one?
Derry, you still with us?
I have that book.
Yeah, I am. I haven't heard of that book though.
Who has it? Faye, Don, or
I have.
You
Yeah,
have it? Okay.
So that goes more into detail of the life works of Jesus at those ages where he was learning, you know, fighting the devil and things that nature, going more in detail than what it may say in the Bible. So that's why he was saying return the church and Christianity back to the Europeans. He didn't say the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Because the Bible has a lot of potent information in it. You know, so hold on, so let me see what else. Like, I don't know if you all have heard of Life and Works of Washington Irving. It deals with this. I think this is a book that was made in 1890 something. It's an old book or whatever that I got. Well, this is volume 3, huh?
You in rare form tonight, Sheik.
Yeah. And this one right here deals with this is volume 3. of it, but it deals with Muhammad, and his name is spelled Mahomet in here. It's got the Bunnyville, it's called like different chapters. Bunnyville, Crayon Papers, Moorish Chronicles, Bracebridge Hall, a chronicle of Wilford Roos. So it's got a whole bunch of different information. So when they say that they know our information and they know more about us than we know ourselves, they tell them the truth, because like I said, a lot of the stuff that was supposedly burnt or destroyed during the Reconstruction period, they kept for themselves, and took from us, kept from themselves. Like in the movie V for Vendetta, if you have a book and all this other stuff, they would try to kill you, especially if you like had a Bible or something like that. But this one, it deals with it gives like a genealogy of not a genealogy, but it says the origin of the white, the red. I just turned it to this page right here. Origin of the white, the red, and the black men. A Seminole tradition. You know what I'm saying? So they talk about Florida. It says when the Floridas were erected into a territory of the United States, one of the earliest cares of the governor, William P. Duval, was directed to the instruction and civilization of the natives. For this purpose, he called a meeting of the chiefs in which he informed them of the wish of their great father at Washington, that they should have schools and teachers among them, and that their children should be instructed like the children of white men. The chiefs listened with their customary silence and decorum to a long speech, setting forth the advantages that would accrue to them from this measure, and when he had concluded, begged the interval of a day to deliberate on it. Let's see, I'm gonna just read a few since I just turned it on here. Ain't like I read all this stuff, I'm gonna admit I ain't read all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? But to just turn it to this part.
Go ahead. I'm taking notes myself. Go ahead.
Okay. It says on the following day, a solemn convocation was held, at which one of the chiefs addressed the governor in the name of all the rest. My brother, he said, we have been thinking over the proposition of our great father at Washington to send teachers and set up schools among us. We are very thankful for the interest he takes in our welfare. But after much deliberation, we have concluded to decline his offer. What will do very well for white men will not do for red men. I do know, hold on. I know you white men say we all come from the same father and mother, but you are mistaken. It's just, like I said, this is my first time reading this part, you know what I'm saying? I don't have this book for a minute, but
it's telling truth.
It says, we have a tradition handed down from our forefathers. So this ties back into this stuff with Nova Joie Ali I was just reading about from the Quran Circle 7. It says, we have a tradition handed down from our forefathers, and we believe it, that the Great Spirit, when he undertook to make men, made the black man, was his first attempt, and pretty well for a beginning. But he soon saw he bundled, determined, and so he determined to try his hand again. He did so and made the red man. He liked him much better than the black man, but he was not exactly what he wanted. So he tried once more and made the white man, and then he was satisfied. You see, therefore, that you were made last, and that is the reason I call you my youngest brother. When the Great Spirit had made the three men, he called them together and showed them 3 boxes. The first was filled with books and maps and papers. The second with bows and arrows, knives and tomahawks. The third with spades, axes, hoes, and hammers. These, my sons, he said, are the means by which you are to live. Choose among them according to your fancy. Says the white man, being the favorite, had the first choice. He passed by the box of working tools without notice, but when he came to the weapons for war and hunting, he stopped and looked hard at them. The red man trembled, for he had set his heart upon that box. The white man, however, after looking upon it for a moment, passed on and chose the box of books and papers. The red man's turn came next, and you may be sure he seized with joy upon the bows and arrows and tomahawks. As to the black man, he had no choice left but to put up with the box of tools. From this, it is clear that the Great Spirit intended the white man should learn to read and write, to understand all about the moon and stars, and to make everything, even rum and whiskey. That the red man should be a first-rate hunter, a mighty warrior, but he was not to learn anything from books, as the Great Spirit had not given him any, nor was he to make rum and whiskey, lest he should kill himself with drinking. As to the black man, as he had nothing but working tools, it was clear he was to work for the white and the red man, which he has continued to do. We must go according to the wishes of the Great Spirit, or we shall get into trouble. To know how to read and write is very good for white men, but very bad for red men. It makes white men better, but red men worse. Some of the Creeks and Cherokees learned to read and write, and they are the greatest rascals among all the Indians.
Mm-hmm.
They went on to Washington and said they were going to see the Great Father to talk about the good of the nation. And when they got there, they all wrote upon a little piece of paper without the nation at home knowing anything about it. And the first thing the nation at home knew of the matter, they were called together by the Indian agent, who showed them a little piece of paper which he told them was a treaty, and their brethren had made in their name with the Great Father at Washington. And as they knew not what a treaty was, he held up a little piece of paper, and they looked under it, and lo, it covered a great extent of country. And they found that their brethren, by knowing how to read and write, had sold their houses and their lands and the graves of their fathers, and that the white man, by knowing how to read and to write, had gained them. Tell our Great Father at Washington, therefore, that we are very sorry we cannot receive teachers among us for reading and writing though very good for white men, is very bad for Indians.
Mm.
So that's just one part.
Mm-hmm.
So I just turned to that part or whatever. And that just show you right there how when we fall under these labels or whatever, like of black and all this other stuff, we are subjected to the jurisdiction of Europeans.
Right.
Or just telling you how certain things came about with you created first. Then came the red, whatever, the red, so they know our history. We just have to know it and learn it ourselves, and with that, I open the floor up. Welcome back, Don. Do you have anything you want to speak on, or Faye, or Darian? Do you all have anything y'all want to talk about, or how you came into Don? I think we were talking about how we came into the knowledge again, or whatever, or what awakened your mind or spirit to a lot of the stuff that was going on. If you want to speak, but if not, I understand.
Yeah. To also give you some context, Don, we welcoming Sister Darian back with us again, and welcoming her into the Drop Squad fold, and helping her, just get acclimated and more comfortable with this Moorish life and what we do here at the Drop Squad. So also, Dawn, welcome back to you as well. Glad to see you again, my sister. Welcome back.
Jack, thank you. I didn't really have anything to say. I'm kind of tired tonight, but I'm listening.
It's all good. It's all good. Was it a good episode this week? I haven't seen it yet. But for those of y'all wanting just Lovecraft Country, we're talking about. Was it good tonight?
Willa, you ain't gotta try to call me out, okay? You ain't gotta.
I just want to know. I just want to know. Was it a good one tonight?
I think you particularly will enjoy tonight's episode.
I hope so.
I'm not gonna ruin it for you.
Okay.
I think I'm on episode 3. I started watching first 2 episodes. I think the first 2 or 3 episodes. This is a very interesting show,
Kind of like our show American Gods a little bit, but it's kind of seemed better a little bit. You
It's
like
11:30.
You like it?
Yeah. It's interesting.
That's good.
Yeah.
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 I made just one or two notes while brother our dear Sheik was speaking. And Darian, if you're there, I wanted to tell you to make, put this in your notes just for future references for you. When we heard David speaking about our position and the covenant with Allah that we have as Moors and stuff, this is something that helped me understand when I was coming back into it. I got the understanding of, like he was saying, like David was saying, these people they had to become as powerful as they are today. They had to do so by studying us and also working for us at a certain up until a certain point in time, and then we raised them up in their status, and this is why they still practice to this very day things like the Freemasonry or the Shriners and all that type of stuff. And so for me, what helped me, understand this stuff a little more is looking at it in this perspective. You can make a note of it. Write down the numbers 180 degrees. I want you to write that number down, 180 degrees. And then beside it, in terms of, think of like a spectrum or a scale. I say 180 because if you know or don't know right now yet, us as Moors, this is the thing about us in this Moorish science that we're always talking about. We are a people who are at a full 360-degree spectrum in life, right? So what that means is that we can go from being a loving people up here at a high vibration all the time, which you see us doing all the time. And, no matter where you go, no matter where you find us, we're always at this level of just being a natural high. We are a peaceful people. We love our music. We love good food, and we love just a good time. That's no secret about us. So we remain at this high frequency, and it's natural to us, right? And then we can go right back down to the root chakra, or the pits of hell, as I call it in life. Down, we're just mud and murky and just dark waters, and just nothing is good. It's like swamp down there. we can get there. And really, at times, sometimes we can become a very mean, stiff-necked people. However, that's not our natural place in life. That's not our natural frequency that we operate in life. It takes a whole lot of things, if you notice, for that to happen, for us to really, be down at the bottom and have hate in our hearts. It doesn't come to us naturally. That's what I'm trying to say. So always think of it when you out here in life now, and now that you know a little bit about this more science, and as you're studying for yourself, and you got your eyes open, and now you can't close them anymore because you now see a little bit better. Just notice, keep this in mind at all times for yourself when you're out in the world. Just notice this, and it'll help you unlock so many more doors, And I say that because when I began noticing things, I noticed doors were opening for me once I began to put 2 and 2 together. So again, make note of the degree, because it's very important. The amalgamated, you can call them, instead of calling them white people, let's just call them amalgamated, the Mameluke, the Janissary, so-called white people. They can only go as high as the middle in life for themselves. They can't vibrate any higher than their middle status. Whereas us,
Fourth dimension. They can't go any higher than the fourth dimension.
Thank you. Yeah, say it again, Dawn, my sister. Say it again for me.
They can't go any higher than the fourth dimension, which
There-
is we're in the third dimension. They can go up one dimension higher. So we actually can go all the way up to the 12th dimension.
That's it. Right there.
Most of us are still operating on the third dimension right now, but what's going on right now in the universe, in the cosmos, is everybody's frequency is being raised. So we are naturally, and it really depends on your level of consciousness, which determines your vibration, will be what allows you to be able to raise up to that fifth dimension. As the whole planet starts to shift up to the fifth dimension, we will be able to go to the fifth dimension, but there's certain individuals that won't be able to go any further than the fourth dimension.
That's what makes us divine.
Yes.
Individuals. That's why he's saying returning back to the European way, one of me's quote, hold on 1 second. Therefore we are returning the Church of Christianity back to the European nations as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation. So like you said, if they can only go so much, while we are returning, while we the Moorish Americans are returning to Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. So
those religious texts were essentially created for them,
right,
to give them some guidance on how they should behave. We are natural people, so we were already vibrating on a certain frequency. But then they turned it and flipped it on us and gave it to us. And now we all confused.
Right.
And as David says, we're going back to where we were initially before. And a lot of people have, you'll hear people say before the fall.
The fall of, what they call it, not necessarily the fall of Jericho, but just fall from humanity or whatever.
And getting trapped into basically the third dimension, getting trapped in the physical body, thinking, getting trapped in our thinking, and essentially being able to be programmed into thinking that this matrix, this physical world is all that there is. But before we got trapped into the physical body, we had access to all kinds of powers. So what we're essentially going back to where we started before we would, we lost our minds. We're slowly going back, ascending back to the 12th dimension.
Right. Right.
And that's what they don't want. And that's what, like we were talking about earlier, is the ending of their world, in a sense. The end, when you were in control for so long.
In the ending of their rulership.
Right. So we seeing things like this, and I brought this picture up to help drive home what the three of us are basically, saying. We're talking about the same thing at this very moment. As far as how high that they can transcend, and the reason we keep seeing so much craziness, like the LGBT community, for instance, it's just, you're at the end when the world starts to portray everything that they say God or Allah will destroy and banish you and exile you for. You know what I'm saying? So you seeing a lot of sodomy going on, just homosexuality just running rampant. And now what they're trying to do is come after the innocent, which is the children. And we're at the end, because when you begin to mess with children, that is when you are really, I believe, and Sheik, David, and Faye, and Don, y'all can help me out. But when you come after children and try to molest them, not sexually, and just think of harming a hair on them, that is really when shit is about to hit the fan, and you're about to really tempt the hand of God at that point. Because
the unfortunate thing is they've been doing this for thousands of years. We just starting to really learn about it. The truth is starting to finally come out to the masses slowly, but they've been doing this because, again, they only can get up to the 4th dimension. So actually what's going on is they've been siphoning off this energy, doing these rituals, these satanic rituals. They can use that energy in the 4th dimension as food, as fuel. And that's why they do these rituals to us as well, these mass rituals on the people, using fear and panic and worry. They can actually use that energy that they create in us to continue their life, their life here on the planet. This is what they use to sustain themselves. Right. So using these kids, killing these kids, raping these kids, this has been going on for years, thousands of years. We're just now learning about it.
Right.
It's coming to the light. A lot of it's just being revealed to us. A lot of stuff that you but you don't want to accuse somebody out in public. A lot of this stuff is just naturally coming out, and movies like Doctor Sleep, what's the other movie? Like I said, the shows before we mentioned before, talk about a lot of that stuff and how they use all those satanic rituals to like scaring people and like scaring children and killing children and
they do it in the military. They call it shoot, MK Ultra, kind of. Not necessarily MK
Yeah.
Ultra,
Let me
but
see the what they call it, what they do when they kill children. I mean, not kill them and scare them and all this other stuff and get their energy, like to get that adrenochrome.
yeah,
This type of energy and all that stuff.
yeah, the sexual
Actually,
sacrifice,
torturing
PT-gate, and
Mm-hmm.
the adrenochrome parties that they have.
Yeah, like I said, torturing them to cause a certain type of, like I said, energy to come out of their bodies or whatever, and feast on it. You
Right.
know. And like I said, a lot of it's coming to the light, and this is the battleground. America is the battleground.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they trying to bury us or whatever, so they can bring all their wickedness here. Not saying all of them are wicked, but I'm just saying a lot of them do have, they have wicked ways or whatever.
Right.
Where they're trying to bring it upon us and make us accept it. And the main thing is, like I said before, with the Mortal Kombat thing, when Shang Tsung was trying to take over the world or whatever, he tried to get Sonya to fight him. Where the thing was, she had to accept it, or she had to go along with it. And I think that's what they're trying to do, is make us go along with a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if we accept it, we'll be destroyed with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
They look like a tranny.
Oh yeah. This is one of the photos that I was telling you all about from that book that I found helping my mom clean up the house. Let me see, what is the name of that thing called?
They're trying to make us artificial.
Yeah, they dressing up the trans.
Don't get caught up.
Don't
get caught up in the artificiality of all this stuff that's going on.
Yeah, these are the things right here that they've been trying to do for years. And it almost makes you ask the question about, like, with the word black. It makes me wonder often, did we become black after the Civil War, and was that the plan all along for the Yankees up north, to win the war and then transfer us on more paper genocide to call us black? And then number two, one of my other thoughts is, is this something that they were always trying to do, coming out more, this transvestite life that they live? Because from these pictures, this book has many pictures from the 1800s, before Civil War, that we know of here in America, and after, especially in the early 1900s. So it really makes you, ask the question, like, really, what the fuck is really going on? And what are these wars? What is all of this stuff really about? Because even when you go back to studying things like ancient Rome, ancient Greece, you still find this stuff riddled through the society of those people.
One, and Bobby Hemmett talks about this, how all of these wars you see, of course they put out propaganda to tell you one thing, which is tell you what the war is about. But that's never really what the war is about. Even when they come and tell you it's about, whether they tell you it's democracy or oil or some type of natural resource, it's still even beyond that, because a lot of these wars are ritual sacrifices. They have to sacrifice so many bodies to sustain. Because one thing we don't understand is, and a lot of people don't really talk, these people are not human.
Right. Absolutely.
They're not of us.
Right.
I mean, there's so many other different life forms here on this planet that we
Mhm.
don't even, when they tell us it's black and white, or even black, white, brown, yellow,
Right.
the race thing, it's even beyond the race thing.
Right.
We got beings living under the earth, and
Mhm.
these like these people, and they evil. So so you got different people or different entities sacrificing human life
Mhm.
in
Absolutely.
these rituals for different purposes to sustain themselves in different dimensions.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's all about like tricking us, because one thing about it is we have free will.
Mhm.
If you want to be stupid your whole life, you can stay stupid. You can stay there and you can not question anything you ever been taught, even if it goes against your own internal compass that says something ain't right. You know, we got people, so-called Black people, that are just as dumb as they are.
Right.
They don't question anything. And they will bite your head off if you do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They will fight you to death if you even question what's going on in the world. But we can plainly, most of us can say, well, something is amiss here. If we could just feel it in the air, those of us who are at least a little bit sensitive, even if we ain't tuned in to the news or tuned in to social media, the way we living today is not how we were living just last year.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone last 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Speak on it, sis. Speak.
So these entities that are really ruling the world right now, they hate life. They hate us. It's not that they don't like us. They hate us. And they want to use every means that they possibly can to trick us and to fool us into giving over our free will, because we have to willingly do their bidding. We have to give our free will up to go along with their agenda. And how do you do that? How do they do that? They do that by tricking us. Tricking us into giving up our free will.
Making it appetizing to the eye, making things appetizing to the eye.
Right. And I mean, or even just take the topic of vaccine. A lot of people are just gonna sign up for it. They're gonna walk right on into there and they just say, well, we need to take this vaccine because X, Y, and Z. And this is what it says on the paper. They're not gonna think for themselves what's in the vaccine, what other problems it's gonna cause. Does it even make sense?
Right.
The rationale for giving me a vaccine, does it actually make sense? Is it in alignment with natural law? They're not going to even question it. Right. So that's one way of them tricking people into giving up their free will.
Do you think it'll become like they did with the Obama health care, that they say that they rushed it through, but with the talk of this COVID hoax or whatever, so-called virus, and now they talk of the vaccine, like you say, do you think it's a chance that they'll try something like that with us once again?
When you say try something, what did they try with Obamacare?
Well, with the Obamacare, from what I've heard, what they did was, I think there was no sure, plan that either side was really, they didn't really, feel like they had a good footing to support, but they just, at the last minute, they just decided to rush something else through that another, I believe, was it senator or representative, someone had quickly made it up. But here's the thing, no one had enough time to read it. And because of that though, they just said, oh, just give us something to sign and we'll read it later after we pass it.
You talking like for the coronavirus or whatever?
No, that
vaccine?
Was vaccine. That what I'm talking about was the way they did the Obamacare. They rushed it through. That was that story.
And you're wondering if they're just rushing the vaccine through?
Yeah. Do you think it seems like they're rushing the vaccine?
They've been had their vaccine.
Yeah,
and
that's what I think.
Put it in, it's to do something specific. Trust it, please. They ain't rush no vaccine, honey. They've been working on that vaccine for years.
They just present it to the public. They just present it to us like they
just
got it or whatever.
Right.
But they've already had it in the making,
Right.
So, but most people think, oh man, it take 10 to 12 years and all this other stuff. But guess what? Those 10 to 12 years or whatever in the past, let's say 2010 or whatever, they were working on it. Or they probably working on it way before then or whatever. But they bring it out now, or whenever they bring it out, they're gonna make it seem like it's rushed. But in actuality, it hasn't really been rushed.
Right.
It's already been here. But go ahead, Don. I'm sorry.
No, well, think about it. If you, whatever field of expertise that you're in, whether you are a mechanic or a doctor, a lawyer, or give me some professions.
Let's see.
An educator, you a teacher. Okay, look. If you have a project that's been set on your table and somebody says, I know you've never done this before. You are a mechanic, but now I need you to go and develop I don't know, develop something that you've never is new to you.
It's not even relatable. It's not relatable to
what you do, right?
Your profession.
Because why? Because it's new. Because we ain't never seen this before, right? So tell me, how can you give me a specific date and time when you're gonna have that project done if it's a project you don't know shit about?
Right.
How in the hell you gonna give me a day and say, I'm gonna have this to you by first thing at 6:00 on September the 2nd, 2020? How you gonna tell me that if you don't know nothing about it?
Right. Because we just supposedly, it just happened this year, and now that we get going towards the end of 2020, all of a sudden we're gonna have a vaccine.
You're gonna have a vaccine for some shit that you figuring it out as you go along. So in March, you didn't know that it was airborne, but come September, now it's airborne. Come, October, it's every month is something new. So it's like, oh, it can survive in these temperatures and not these temperatures, and it's airborne, or you could be asymptomatic. Every goddamn other week, they coming up with some other aspect or description of a virus.
Right.
How long have viruses been on the planet?
Right.
And y'all figuring it out.
Go ahead.
Say that again, Faye.
What you say, Faye?
I said viruses been on the planet since time immemorial. I mean, and really, if y'all haven't watched, Panic is doing a review on the ISIS speeches. That I suggest everybody. Oh my God, it's 12 hours long.
I know, can it be? Oh my God, you gotta watch it for 2 weeks before he finishes.
But okay, so when I looked up and pulled the word, go to the etymology dictionary, Willa.
Okay.
And pull up the word virus.
Virus. All right.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second, y'all. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay. Virus. Let's see what we get. Let's see.
I need you to help me with this one. Now
All right.
read the description of virus. Does it say venom?
Let me see. Virus, late 14th century, poisonous substance. Let's see. Poisonous sap of plant, slimy liquid, a potent juice. No. Let's see. Original meaning, to melt away, to flow.
Sanskrit. Go to the Sanskrit meaning.
Okay, hold on. Wait, where is that? Sanskrit.
It's in there. Sign where it says Sanskrit.
Oh, okay. I see it. Right here. It says Sanskrit. Okay. Venom, poison, poisonous.
A poison. Okay. A virus is a microbe, basically.
Right.
And this sucker is an intelligent microbe. Okay. Now, when they put out a movie called what? Venom. Did they not?
Yep.
And this thing was a symbiotic entity, an intelligent symbiotic entity that needed a what? Host to survive.
Right.
So basically, let me tell you something. A damn virus cannot live outside your body. Your body. A virus, in order for a virus to survive, it has to have a host. It's like a parasite.
Right. Gotta have a host. Yeah.
Right. So a virus cannot live outside the body.
Right.
12
Okay. So what is they talking about?
Right.
And on top of that,
hold on. What I missed?
The CDC on their website back in March, I don't know if it's still there. Their own website says that the COVID cannot survive in high temperatures and high humidity. So what the fuck are y'all walking around with masks on and it's 100? I don't care if it's 80 degrees outside.
Exactly. And they showed that in that movie Venom. What killed it or what made it? It was afraid of fire and high pitched noise. Frequency.
Right.
Frequency. So they just been lying to people. They have been concocted.
And I'm doing a very good job at that.
Oh, not well for the masses. They are.
But they ain't stupid asses. I'm just saying.
But that's the thing, though.
Oh God.
They know that all they do is just put it out there, and they know that everybody's just gonna gobble it up, and that's all people been doing, gobbling it up, and they made these masks new fashion statements and put names and words and pictures. I can match this up with my dress,
Got your
just
favorite,
steadily just follow along with stuff.
Got your favorite dog, cat on your mask.
Like Don said, every week it's a new propaganda that they got out here for people to gobble up. So what they're gonna do now is they're gonna make this vaccine mandatory. Ain't no telling what they didn't put it, because they do studies on people. People do not realize that they shoot you up with this stuff and then they study you. They study the effect. That's why they ask you specifically, have you had your flu shot? Because they are, okay, wait a minute, hold on. We know that they ain't finna give us nothing beneficial. Why is, wherever you go, Walmart, come on, y'all.
Yeah, you gotta go around the banners.
Walgreens, free flu shot. They been shooting people up and studying them. These people coming down with all these damn different cancer stuff. Allegedly, I feel like it's them damn flu shots.
Thank you. And the goddamn Popeye chicken sandwiches from last year. That's another damn.
It's them damn. Yes, and the food, but they've been studying people. If you notice, thank you for saying Popeye's chicken. If you notice when you go to certain neighborhoods, notice, like if you go, like my cousin, she lived in West Little Rock. And so in Arkansas, West Little Rock is the better side of town. Anyway, a lot of
Beverly
Caucasians,
Hills.
right? A lot of Caucasians live out there. When
And
you
the
go
Indians. Don't forget the Hindustans.
the Hindu stands, okay. So you go out there, when you go to like the Kroger's out there, they
Mhm.
got all kind of exotic fruit, all kind of exotic vegetables,
Yes.
all kind of stuff.
Mhm.
When you go to, which I don't shop usually around where I stay, because I know them. You know, I just don't.
It's the truth, though. It is.
Okay, I met Willa. I live in Southwest. I met Willa in Barton.
Yeah, at the Kroger in Bryan.
Because I know not to shop in my neighborhood. But anyway, when you go to our stuff, our stores, all that food, it got a film over the fruit. It got a film over it. It's all and all that because they get that food from the Caucasian side, bring it when it get old, it bring it to the urban side of town.
Down to College Station.
But before they bring it, they put a little extra on. You know what I'm saying? They spray it and then stick it in our neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So they been studying us. So when they broke up that Tuskegee bed, they had to study us in another form. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And Bobby told us that they study us. That's why they section us off into income brackets to study us.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know usually if you make a certain amount of money, you're gonna be a little more well read, maybe a little more intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they do it to the poorest of us. You know what I'm saying? If too many of us who think it's sick start happening, what's gonna happen? We're gonna start doing some damn research.
Right.
Like that man who filed that Roundup lawsuit.
All right.
And that man whose wife had died in childbirth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they're very particular about who they do their studies on. My friend girl says she had seen one of her friends. She had took a flu shot. Big guy, over 6 feet. She said she saw him. He was so little. He told her, he was like, girl, if you would have seen me a couple of months ago, she said, I can't even imagine him being any smaller than he was. Because this used to be a big guy. Not fat, but muscular.
Right.
She was like, oh my God, he was so thin. Flu shot. He took a flu shot. He said that flu shot opened something in his DNA. There was latent in his DNA.
Mm-hmm.
A disease. It activated a disease or something that was latent in his DNA. So we are riddled with viruses, riddled with it,
right?
Riddled with different types of bacteria and stuff that our body naturally hosts. And that stuff is ancient, and they want to see what the hell it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. And that's one of the reasons, just like Don said, they stuck on fourth dimension. They trying to figure out a way to get their DNA because, like when Pennant was doing the ice species, that's one of the things. It's all about DNA, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's skin color is about their DNA.
Right. Every time. Every single time.
The junk DNA is virus. That's what it is. It's virus. And that's one of the things that our ancestors were studying back in ancient Kemet was virus.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Virus.
I was trying to find the Kroger that me and you were talking about so we could show him, but all I found was the bullet hole in one of them. That should give him an indication of what we're talking about right there. It's real out here in these Little Rock streets.
It is. It is.
On certain sides of towns, it get real. That's why I don't leave the house after dark going.
They've been lying to us, and we just got to get up on our studies and read those peer-reviewed papers because, to protect ourselves, because they a bunch of liars. Trust anything that they do, just like the Simpsons, Family Guy, and the rest of them. They've been had this plan.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't new. They've been had it playing. They want you to beg for the virus. That's what they want. They want you to get desperate so you can intake your own, ask for your own food.
And you don't, you by you not trusting your own sense, your natural common sense. They're telling you, hey, something ain't right about this. But like I said, they're making it appeal to you, making it sexy, making you fear the other possibility, like, oh Lord, this corona. And it just, none of it makes sense. It's like,
right.
It just don't make sense at all.
It don't.
And they got something, like Don said, they got something new every week to say. Anything that you study, you don't bring out your findings until what you sure.
Right.
You got to do the whole scientific analysis on something before you begin to say what you think it is.
Right.
Willa, can you pull up my I posted a passage from this book. The book is called Your Body Speaks Your Mind.
Is it on your page right here?
That page right there. That page right there.
Oh, right here?
No, the black and white. The black and white book page.
Oh, right here. Over here. Okay.
So this book, I use this book a lot. It's referenced sometimes when I'm an empath and I might walk in a space or something and I'm trying to figure out the energy that I just walked into. So sometimes I'll refer to this book because it helps me a lot to kind of just articulate what it is. I know it, but if I'm needing to tell somebody, I don't always have the words. So sometimes I have to refer to this. So it goes through like your whole body and the psychosomatic symptoms, why certain things manifest. So we know everything it starts in the spirit realm and then it manifests in the physical, right? So in your body, if you have a certain illness, you can trace it back to what's going on with this person, right? So I just happened to run across this passage here and she's talking about the flu. And notice what she says, that the flu itself means, or influenza means to come under the influence of, implying that someone or something has a strong influence over you. Perhaps you're making you, just what David just said, doubt yourself. Making you doubt what you think or feel for yourself.
Right.
Which undermines your identity or your purpose.
They don't ever talk.
You need to go and reconnect with yourself. So what's going on is people so disconnected from themselves, right? They're letting somebody tell them millions of people are dying everywhere. Yet y'all don't know no millions of people that done died.
Right.
Nope.
If within your circle of influence, when I ask somebody, how many people do you know personally that you know unequivocally have died from COVID? They can't name not one. They start naming, my co-worker's grandfather's sister on his mama's side.
My great aunt and nephew.
But
my great auntie's nephew.
Right. And you like, but did they die of COVID? Did they have anything? Did they was a healthy person, and then they woke up that morning coughing and sneezing and couldn't breathe, and then what happened? Did they go to the hospital? It's never nothing like that. It's never nobody died in their own house, right? Everybody go to the hospital. Now you know black people ain't about to jump up. I know I had something. I didn't go to no damn hospital. I just waited that shit out. I'm like, I don't feel good.
Right.
But I'm not about to hop up and go and get tested for some shit that I didn't even know that I had.
Shit.
Don't make sense. It don't make sense.
It don't.
But I'm just saying.
And they can't even look at you. They can't even look at you and tell if you got it and all this other stuff. But you got to take this test that got false positives, false negatives, or whatever.
They got to tell you, and it might be you might have had it for 7 days, so we need you to quarantine for 14 days, and we need you to shut the fuck up.
Right.
I'm telling you,
Keeping the
I,
plate.
let me tell you, I concur. Honey, when I was working, they say, okay, if you feel sick or whatever, yeah, you got to quarantine for 14 days. Go take the test, then quarantine for 14 days, and then take the test again. Then they sent out a memo and said, no, you can go take the test. Now the test come back. It took how many days? What, about 7? Now the test come back in 3 days. What?
Let me tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all my business. Okay, I went back to work last Thursday for the first time, right?
Right.
And okay, this is what now I go on a different job I go to different sets almost every day. Every day that I go, I'm somewhere different.
Right.
So they're telling us now for every job, you gotta go get tested. And I'm like very hesitant because I don't want to be bothered. That's how I feel. I don't want to be bothered, but I'm like, okay, let me go get back out and go to work. Right. So they're like, okay, look, you go get tested on Tuesday to work on Thursday. And then they called me for another job and said, okay, well, you're going to go get tested on Wednesday to work on Friday. So I go get tested. They got the rapid test bullshit. Like, okay. Which, if y'all know anything about production call time could be 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
It could be any time, right? And they ain't going to stop and wait on no damn tests.
Oh, I missed
results to come back. If they say call time is at 6 a.m., everybody's supposed to be there at 6 a.m.
6 a.m., damn it. We got to roll the camera.
So you're like, okay, you really going to have all these test results for all these people back by that time? Okay, whatever. I'm just want to go out and see what's going on. So sure enough, they're like, we got rapid testing. We'll have it back within 24 hours. Right. So I go get the test for the one place and they call, they're like, okay, you good, you clear, you don't have it. The next place, I go there, they do this, which that's like the second time they got to stick me up my fucking nose with this bullshit. I'm really mad.
That long ass Q-tip like they going.
How I feel, it hurt.
It don't hurt. It's just very annoying.
Uncomfortable.
Like the Magic School Bus. Remember that?
The second lady, she was better. Like they have two different, to my understanding, it's two different ones in terms of the swab up your nose. So some of them will go all the way back. It's a longer Q-tip and it's flexible. But then you got some, they just swab up inside your nostril to get some cells. So she did that second lady, she just did that like 5 times. But and then I'm sitting there, I'm going, okay, you got to see all these people. You testing yourself every day?
Right.
I doubt it.
Like who tested the nurses and shit? That's what I want to know. And the doctor when they come in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they say, okay, you cleared, you gonna work the next fucking day. You go in and this was on the lot. So they gave us 4 fucking masks. I swear to y'all, this shit was so annoying. They gave us 4 masks.
Shit.
And then we outside. So like outside, you got to have a mask on to be on the lot. You know how fucking big a lot is?
The studio lot. Yeah.
To even just be walking around, you gotta have them. And girl, they were watching like a hawk. Cause I'm like, I can't breathe this shit on. I can't breathe. I want to go outside. And you just walking outside and folks like, put your pull your mask up over your nose. Well, why I got this shield on? What's the point of me wearing a shield if I gotta still have 2 goddamn masks on under it? Y'all already tested everybody that's here. So if you tested us, why are we still walking around with this shit on?
Right.
It was I was just like, I just can't do it. I'm just gonna have to be unemployed for the rest of the year. Cause I'm about to go off on these people. And one more somebody somebody say something about me putting this mask up over my nose, I'm gonna punch him in the throat. I mean, they have to walk twice. Somebody walked clear 30 feet away from me to come to tell me to pull my mask up. If you don't get your ass back across that field, to me, shit.
Get out my damn face. Goddamn, pull your mask. I can just imagine somebody coming up to you. Pull your mask on, lady.
You should have seen me. I got big eyes. And I swear. You should have seen the look on my. I was like,
I can just imagine you cussing them out. Like,
the lady got mad. She went and she told on me, and she was like, she won't put her mask on over her nose. So the
gotta tell her that.
over.
The fuck?
He's like, they said you won't put your mask. I said, no, I can't breathe. He said, well, he was nice about it though. He said, if you want to step outside, you can. I know it's annoying. You can go outside. I'll just call you when I need you. So then I go outside and I'm chilling. And then some heifer come walking down the street. She done spotted me like a hawk. Your mask, you need to pull your mask up over your nose. I said, bitch, get out of my way. Say that. But that's the look. That's the look I gave her. If you don't get out of my face, we outside.
Yo.
And y'all watching us. And then this one lady, we was at lunch, right? And we was like, we got to sit at these tables. The tables are 6 feet apart, 6 feet tables.
Right.
So you got 2 people per table. Y'all got to sit on opposite ends. And the only time you can take your mask off is when you eating or when you're filming. Basically, when you being told what to do, that's when you can take your mask off.
Right.
This lady she's talking to her little friend. Then she was eating, she took her mask off, and she was talking to her little friend who was sitting at the table next to her. But the lady pulled her chair over next to her. So she was like 3 feet away from her. Mm-hmm. Now they both 20 feet away from me, right? And this guy is walking, he minding his own business. He's just walking down, down the street, and he's on the phone. The lady like, put your mask on, pull your mask on. She ain't even got her own mask on.
And she yelling at you?
She yelling at him while he talking to somebody on the phone. Somebody ain't even there. She yelling at him, time I pull your mask up over your nose. Girl, I was like, I got to go.
It does affect your mental. It does.
Lord. What's going on with the water?
It's making folks psycho.
It is. It's mental. And I was like that at work, just watching people walk around because it's my old job, because I'm retired anyway. In my old job, I used to sit because, they put us in these big glass offices. And I used to just sit and watch people walk by with these masks on. And I laugh every day because you gotta wipe down the meeting room, right? Every time we're in there, it can't be no more than 5 people in there at a time. But we all using the same bathroom. Ain't nobody going in there wiping down it.
But I get like y'all touching everything.
Right.
I'm concerned about you touching me than you breathing.
Right.
Ain't never, even before this little incident this year, people used to go to Wild River Country, you know what I'm saying, and public pools and stuff. And I never, I was like, oh, my kids ain't going to no public pool, yada, yada, yada. So I know people boo-boo for 2 years. They got all kinds of disease, and they be floating around in that water. I now all of a sudden y'all scared to, like you said, talk to each other or be more than 6 feet, from each other. Mm-hmm. It don't even make sense to them. It just don't. It don't make sense.
It don't matter. Girl, they hired people. Do you know they hired people to walk around with 6 feet long sticks?
Girl, no, I know that.
They had 2 people
those
on the set
measuring-
with a
those measuring
stick walking
yeah.
around, making sure everybody stays 6 feet apart.
It's
Like
crazy.
those big wide rulers.
But the disease came from China.
Right.
So what's this thing gonna do if the disease came from China?
You know, what I don't understand.
That's good. That's a good point. That's a good point, Faye.
Right. And what I can't understand is the people they been claiming that they hope Trump get the get the virus, right? And then he do catch it, and they like, what's wrong with him? He's endangering all these people, and he doesn't have a mask on. Who does he think he is? And it's like, wait a minute, you wanted him to have the virus, so now that he got it, you still ain't happy? The fuck?
Girl, they don't know. They just making this shit up. I literally swear to God, they are making this shit up as they go. Like I said, again, talk about this job I used to work in. I was out of work that day, but allegedly somebody had got the corona. Okay, and so remember now, they told us if you are in contact with somebody that has corona, you gotta be quarantined for 14 days, and then go take a test. Ain't that what they told everybody?
Yeah.
On this day, this is what they told me. Oh, somebody was up here. I'm just letting you know, since you asked about, that somebody, they sent somebody home because they had corona and they sprayed the bill. And they gonna let us go. That was the first incident. They went home for that day and then come back the next day. Okay. So the second time somebody said they had corona, they told everybody to leave the building. This the day I didn't go to work. I hadn't been at work. That's why I went ahead and retired. But anyway, I went to work again this day.
I can't with you.
On this particular day. And they told them, they sprayed the building at 11 o'clock. Everybody goes to come back at I think that it was 1 o'clock. Everybody come back from lunch at 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait a minute. Y'all just gonna spray this building with some chemical. Oh, the chemical. Hold on now. The chemical is strong enough to kill this dead disease, but safe enough not to harm you. I can't.
Girl.
Which one is it? God damn it! Do you want
the thing
I don't know. Twister.
The thing is, they want you to be the disease.
Huh?
I said the thing is, they see you as a disease. They see, when they say.
My unit was like, bump that, we ain't coming back. They said, oh, well, you're going to have to use your time if you don't come back to work. So it was fine. We ain't coming back.
Shut down for the rest of the year.
Oh,
I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, but you
good.
Yeah, it's like they just showing you the flaws behind all this stuff, and I don't think they thought that all these people gonna be able to pick up on all this BS that all the BS that they pushing. All the information that they pushing. They pushing out so much stuff. So much stuff has happened this year.
And I really believe that they, and Bobby Hemmett said this, like they, number one, they just running scared. And they use these same tactics over and over again. I believe what they do is they go into these message boards, they go into these Facebook groups, they watching what people are saying, and then they concoct some story around whatever it is that we've said, this don't make sense. Then next thing you know, here comes some news article just to debunk what the majority of the people are saying and how they're dispelling this, right?
Right.
Just to keep you on your, confused, or just to stay up ahead of it. So they don't know, they just making it up as they go, and they watching us to figure out what their next move should be.
Right. because that's exactly what it is. I believe you on that, Don. Ever since you told me about the reason behind these social media challenges, I'm thinking deeper like that, on a level like that too. Like it's something they watching us, and
maybe, I mean, you know, they do it on Facebook, because every time you look up, they blocking somebody or took somebody's page down, and so you know they reading this stuff.
Then quick to put fact checks and all this other stuff to try to debunk it.
Yep.
And they know that the most people who don't do research or real research, like then somebody, you know, like you going to tell somebody like this is some bullshit or whatever, they be like, and they fact check this and it's, you know, it's like, but they ain't did no real research themselves, nothing, you know. And it's like now they trying to act like they some kind of scholar trying to present to you information like, see, that ain't real, or like I said with the whole Chadwick Boseman birthday changing thing, changing their birthday. You can see that he was born in 77, but then they changed it. But then when you say like, man, they changed the birthday, then you go back. I mean, you know, you show them now it has the new date,
right? You
know, instead of the old date. It's like they can constantly change information. They can delete what they want, put where they insert what they want. Like you said, false news articles, this, that.
Just to keep, you know, just to stay up above you and make you look like you the wrong one. They just, all they doing is just reading your stuff and then going back and concocting some story around it to make it seem like you don't know what you're talking about.
So Willa,
show man.
Yeah.
Willa, do this real quick on Google, the search bar. Type in.
Go to Google, or.
Yeah. Come up with 3 numbers. Say 3 numbers. Oh, Faye, and done, and then hold on. Willie, you say one number. You say one number. Faye, between 0 to 9. You say one number, Faye. Done, you say one, and then Willie, you say one.
Between 0 and 9, right?
7.
All right, 7.
6.
6.
Damn, she took my number. 8.
All right, put in 768. Then put in new cases. Right there, it just came right up.
Are you serious? What the fuck? What? Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, let's do it over.
You can type in another number. Come up with your own. Come up with your own number right quick.
584.
584.
Huh? Yo. Hold it.
Put in 977.
Huh? What the fuck? And they all come from
Israel reports 977 new corona cases.
You can let me say put in 1846. Yeah, it'll get, I don't know how many numbers it'll go, but try 1846 new cases.
All right.
It may come up something.
Shut the front door.
But see, again, this is what we was talking about, you know, truth. You know, you gotta agree to do this bullshit in order for it to work.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to give up your own free will.
Right. So these people are doing it for money, status, you know, or whatever. Instead of saying, no, I'm not doing it. Matter of fact, I'm a whistleblower. Did you know that?
You mean like the people who work? Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like for you to somebody has to have hired these people to
Right.
sit there and create these websites and stories and post them.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, remember when they had them school shootings and come to find out people was doing their research and finding out that it was actually just people answering these audition calls
Mhm.
for being
Mhm.
crisis actors when a school shooting happened somewhere in the country.
Mhm.
It's the same. It's the same shit. I'm convinced. You know, especially when they remember when they was doing those riots up in what was it, Minnesota?
Mhm.
All those riots, they breaking into Targets and shit, and just breaking glass everywhere. I believe they ain't got, think about it. They ain't got no schools to shoot up, right? Because they not sending them kids to the school. But at the same time, the deep state, they got to do something to fill their quota, you know?
But they know that people are gonna believe anything.
Yeah.
They
True.
think just because they see it on TV that makes it real. A
Yeah.
lot of stuff isn't real, but like I said, the whole thing with Don was saying about the flu and how it you said the definition of it, which was on there, and how it has to overtake. Hold on.
That is all.
Basically, it's the psychological
Mhm.
aspect of it is that you're basically under a spell.
Mhm.
You have allowed somebody else to come in and influence your thinking, so
Mhm.
you're not thinking for yourself.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
had that on the episode of the Avatar. If anybody watched the Avatar, I love that movie. But I mean, that little
Mhm.
TV show, not the movie stuff. The little TV show.
TV show that was fire, huh?
Right. But Uncle Iroh had convinced his nephew Zuko.
Mhm.
He was the antagonist of the series
Mhm.
to not steal the Avatar's bison. And so when they had got home, he let the bison go. And his uncle told him he did the right thing. So when he got home, he immediately passed out. He told his uncle, I don't feel good, and passed out.
Mhm.
So when he asked him, he was having like the flu-like symptoms, sweating, you know, and all of that, tired. And his uncle was telling him, did you went against your own identity
Right.
or who you thought you were? So you're going through a metamorphosis.
Mhm.
And so he went through this for about a week. He got up. He had a better attitude. He was more cheerful. You know what I'm saying? You know, his whole demeanor had changed.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like his body was fighting against him, you know, because he had this image of himself that was beginning to break down.
Right.
And the crazy thing about this whole, you know, situation, which in my job, we didn't get this glorious time off. But anyway, it didn't matter because I took time off anyway. But anyway, all these people that were still getting paid for their jobs or they were getting unemployment, whatever the situation was, when they were at home, they had this glorious time to sit with self.
Mhm.
You know what they did? Netflix, Hulu, and everything else but sit with themselves.
Right.
Mhm.
And they were given the opportunity to do that. But a lot of people, some people did. They came up with some wonderful ideas. You could tell the difference between the people who didn't do shit and the people who sat with themselves. Because the people who sat with themselves, they ain't going back to work. They got their own business.
Right. Right. I keep hearing that a whole lot about people. They started their own business while they've been at home. So.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You know, whatever they gift for talent, you know, that was late in them, they made it do what they do. And you know, so that's a beautiful thing. So I mean, it was a silver lining in the foolishness. All I'm saying.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's just those who want to take time to study, you know, or improve upon you know yourself and become greater instead of just, oh man, I can't wait the basketball come on, or you know, it's like some people who are panicky or act like they can't cope without certain things. So
Right.
this what we are witnessing is that reset. It's like they said, the great reset, the global reset that has happened, and that's one of the prophet's oral statements. That the wheels of the industry are gonna shut down, and when it start back up, it'll be in the Moore's favor.
Right.
Trying to find my paperwork or whatever, but we're witnessing it. But a lot of people, because they don't understand the information or know the information or have any kind of idea what the information is, they don't actually know what's going on.
Right.
With a lot of stuff that's going on. So, but there a lot of them are pushing the BS, and if you ain't pushing the BS, that means there's something wrong with you, crazy or whatever, or out of your mind for speaking against, not speaking, just having your eyes open. They're like it's a crime to have your eyes open to the BS. So like I said, these people coming in trying to force you to put on your mask and all this other stuff and think they are the ones that's righteous, but they don't even know how this stuff is really gonna mess a lot of people up in the fall.
It really is.
So if I go in the store or something, I'm still trying to use my regular breathing through my nostrils. So I put it over, I put it over it won't be covering up my nose. It'll be like right underneath or whatever.
I don't even do that. I'd be like this, like.
Yeah, I have mine under my chin too. They don't say nothing after that.
At Whole Foods and Walmart, they be tripping. At Whole Foods, they got the bitch that's sitting outside the front door before you go in the store. So I'll be like, God damn, she annoying. Because they got us sitting there at the table with the napkins and the sanitizers and all the gloves
and thinking they in the right. But like I said, all the people who have invested in masks, sanitizers, all this stuff that people are gobbling up using now. It's like they
over what they did to the toilet paper. But go ahead.
No, like William Cooper saying in Behold the Pale Horse, they know how to make people, instead of people being like this, like at an even keel or whatever, they know how to make people become unsteady. Like, let's say like with September 11th, everybody was used to gas prices being, $1 or something. The next thing you know, they raised the gas price number, the
$7 and
prices
$8.
up. Yeah, and people started panicking.
Yeah.
So it's like they know how to make certain things to where it's like you used to a certain way of living, but now, damn, I got to put all this money towards this gas. So people start, you start seeing all those long lines and everybody was panicking about gas and all this other stuff. Then they put some information out here lately or earlier this year, toilet paper shortage. And everybody then rushed to the store to get toilet paper and all this other stuff. But for what? They ain't even thinking about like, what was the use? Everybody
I
says,
didn't hear that. Now, for one place that this COVID was just gonna make me have vomit and diarrhea out the ass.
My ass gonna catch the COVID.
Yeah, like
catch COVID in my ass.
But now, y'all know what was so interesting to me is how folks went and bought out toilet paper and Clorox bleach, right?
Yeah.
And then just a few months later, they come up with this dumb story talking about Trump said drink bleach. No, y'all the dumbasses that went out and bought bleach, and he never said that.
Right.
Like, he never said that.
At all.
And he even said during the I think it was the debate or something, not during the debate, but he was like, a lot of times he'd be sarcastic. Because he, like I said, he's not gonna keep repeating the same stuff over and over and over.
Right.
But he said using UV light.
Yep.
As a disinfectant.
Yep.
Right.
But because the media twisted and said bleach, drink bleach. I don't care who say drink bleach. if I got my own mind to think, my own senses, let me know if the center ever be shaking, whatever. But it's like if I got my own mind and senses, I know I ain't finna go out here and damn drink no damn bleach when it clearly say you ingest this stuff. One of the possibilities is death or whatever. Right. But it's like people don't really do their own research. So he even said himself that like I said, UV light.
Yep. And
you use UV light for a lot of stuff to kill off a lot of microbes and all this other stuff. Right. So their stories are changing. So even in the book of Revelation, it's talking about the flood of lies. Mm-hmm. So much stuff, I think I said it before, but so much, you're going to be flooded with so much stuff, so many lies, so much bullshit in the end times to where it'll make it hard for you to believe the truth or to see through the truth.
Right.
If you believe in all this BS, or whatever, because like I said, it's the murder hornets. One, they was talking about the murder hornets. They're talking about.
Did y'all ever see that?
Yeah, I thought about the murder hornets. It didn't go over well, so they dropped it in the hot store.
Didn't they though? They dropped it.
I was standing outside every day. I was like, y'all seen anything yet? I'm asking my neighbors across the hall, like, y'all good? The murder hornets here yet? I ain't seen them.
Murder hornets.
Yeah. I ain't
like,
just seen the yellow jackets.
Was that the murder hornets? And then they said the mosquitoes and the flying alligator, flying something.
Yeah.
It's been a
only insect I done seen is that damn fly that landed on Pence's head. That's about it. That's about it for insects.
They told that
all the killer mosquitoes, which they still might come out with those though.
Well, they did that already with the mosquitoes, with the Zika virus down in Brazil when we had the Olympics.
Yeah, and they talk about the 70-some million so-called mosquitoes.
Yeah, and
they released, supposedly released, but it's like I say all the time, you just have to protect your mind from a lot of this stuff, because that's where it'll seep in.
And that's so true. You know what? I was meditating on that, and it's really interesting how if you get your mind right, this is actually a very exciting time to be alive and to witness this shit go in the toilet.
Yes, yeah.
But you gotta be on the right frequency to see the exciting shit that's actually happening.
Yes.
Otherwise, you just tuned into death and destruction and mayhem and chaos and Trump is doing this, and even people coming out with the stuff against the QAnon and against the Trump and against the Star and this is the it's like every thing that comes out, they gotta come out with another story to make you disbelieve it. They got to debunk everything
to doubt it.
The mob mentality behind it is the sickening part,
right? And it is like for people who feel like, we gotta have them, like we were saying earlier, you gotta wear a mask and you gotta sanitize, and it's like, okay, when they came out with the lady, the Black doctor that came out and spoke about the hydrochloroquine.
Dr. Stella.
And then they got to come out and say, well, that's a lie. And she's not really a doctor. So I say to them, well, what's the alternative? You just go keep going along with everything that tells you that there is no cure and there is no end in sight to a virus that just popped up on the scene this year. And we just got to go along with what that narrative is. But anything that comes out that says, Trump said, there's a such thing as UV light taking care of it, there's other technologies, you want to say, well, that don't make sense. That don't make sense, but this other stuff does make sense.
Right. And they saying that it's supposed to be less deadly than the flu.
It is.
They saying that the flu is catching the flu is more dangerous than you catching the coronavirus.
More people done died from fucking cancer. You ain't shut down the world over cancer.
They ain't never shut the world down on nothing.
Exactly.
Not as long as we've been living.
They making money off of this so-called coronavirus as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who done blew up over coronavirus. This new company who is making this hand sanitizer smell like snot. Y'all see that brown mess?
Oh Lord!
Oh my God! I was like, who? And that on the end of it says in fragrance. I said, well, this the fragrance y'all talking? Cause it smell like shit.
What?
This hand is brown. Have y'all seen it?
No.
I gotta see this. Hold up. Let's see if we can find this. Brown
New girl, it stinks so bad.
Hand sanitizer.
I assuming they blowing up because you can't find no alcohol nowhere.
Yo, the gas station, the Mapco gas station down the street from us. The Mapco down the street here on the Stagecoach. They got boxes of the hand sanitizer. And in the boxes, I thought they were selling, oil for your car. Because it looked like them oil canisters that when you need some oil to put in your car, like some Pennzoil, they got them little oil boxes that look like oil, but it's got hand sanitizer in it. I was like, God damn it. I was looking for some oil for my car, and this is a goddamn big ass jug of hand sanitizer. Got me standing in line up there at the cash register looking stupid as hell. And they got the face mask right next to it too. So they selling the face mask and the hand sanitizer all in one big ass bundle.
Money off of it, and that's ridiculous. It ain't for me. I don't care. I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to Wally World today. I forgot my mask. I was like, shoot, I gotta have this mask around my face because sometimes they do have the police up there.
Yo,
So.
I'm sick of Wally World. They took down because they had the banisters where it made it seem like you was going into a nightclub, but it's Walmart. So they finally took them down, and they no longer got the police standing up there, but it is a Walmart worker standing outside the door every time you come in.
Police out there sometimes.
He ain't been there the last two or three times I've been. I haven't seen them. Ever since they took down the barricades, that is. I don't know.
It's not a law, it's just an ordinance anyway, but ain't nobody got time for that.
And the thing is that I'm wondering, are the workers getting paid full time, or is they check like a little adjusted because they closing the stores at 8:30 now? They still closing at 8:30. So I'm wondering,
I guess that's when the virus turned up, because I never understood why they had to close the stores. That makes sense to me.
Right, and they still doing it, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, y'all ain't got the banisters? Are y'all still closing at 10 o'clock now, going back to the old time? I don't know. It's confusing.
John, what is the name of that book that had that? Do you know the name of that book where it had that about the flu?
Oh, put that back up.
It's called Your Body Speaks Your Mind by Debbie Shapiro.
Let's see. Let me get back up for you, Dave. Your Body Speaks Your Mind by David Shapiro.
Debbie Shapiro.
Debbie Shapiro.
Mm-hmm.
DE, 2 B's or just one?
2 B's.
Okay. Your Body Speaks Your Mind. All right. Let me do it this way. Here we go. Yeah, it's just I don't know what to say no more. I know that I'm just, and I'm gonna leave it alone after this. I'm just gonna be glad when this election is over with. Hopefully that'll turn some of these idiots down. But if they don't win and get their way, that might be speaking too soon, because they might get even more intense and crazier out here.
Mhm.
But oh well. So okay. It ain't got it up there, but you see it, David, right? You got it?
Yeah, I wrote it down. I wrote
Okay.
it down. Your Body Speaks Your Mind by Debbie Shapiro.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right, y'all. It's been a great show tonight. Great one. Thank you to everyone here with us, rocking out with us. Got my OG Sister Faye coming in early as always. Brother, our OG Sheik, Grand Sheik David, Paige Bay, and also my sister Dawn from the West Coast, West Side.
Hey, yay!
Yay! Got Dawn here with us. Want to thank everybody, every single one of y'all coming in. I know y'all gotta work sometimes. It be different times y'all get here, but it's always good when y'all get here no matter what. I always say that. Y'all know the hours that we on, so it don't matter if you think you running late or not. We still here, so just come on through anytime still, regardless. So it's all good. So once again, thank y'all. This has been amazing Drop Squad night. Want to say before we go, just a heads up to everybody. Please give our prayers up for our members. Not only Yachida L, his friend. Yachida had to leave the show earlier. He had an emergency, a family emergency. A friend of his got into a accident. So we want to send our prayers and our light and love to our brother Yachida L, and pray for him at this time, him and his family, and the friend that's injured. Hope they're okay and that they're safe and gonna be all right. Also, we want to send light and love to our brother Tariq, the general. He hasn't been with us for a couple of weeks, but the love is still there for him with the Drop Squad, with all of us. Going to send love and well wishes to him. He recently, as I was told, was having asthma problems, health problems. So he's in the hospital. I'm not sure if he's still in the hospital. But regardless, still want to put out there that good positive energy for Tariq, and like I said earlier, to brother Yachida L. And I'm not sure what happened to O. Probably had to work or whatever, who knows. But that's all I got for now. Hopefully, again, sorry to Sister Darian. We didn't get to her subject like we wanted to, but hopefully things will be worked out and much better for my other fellow brothers, and Yachida and brother O will be with us on Wednesday, and she'll be back. And yeah, that's all I got. Y'all want to say anything before I close us out? Any prayers or special words or wishes or heads up? Any news, special news y'all got want to share? Anything we can shed light on? Or
No, I got nothing, but it was pleasure speaking with you all tonight.
all right. Cool. As always, everybody, hold up. I am your gracious host, Wilhelmina C. Williams Bay of the 1/3 of the Drop Squad, and we thank you. 5, as always, 5 to the left. Wait, 5 to the left, 2 to the right. Peace and blessings. We out. Good night, everybody. We love y'all. Peace.
All right.
Good night,
Peace.
Dave.
Peace, Don.
Good
Peace,
night,
Willow.
love.
David.
Love y'all. Peace.
All right. Peace.
Peace.